Welcome everybody back to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge. Again, it's me, Alex. We got here Addie,
Episode Who Gives a Shit?
Pink. Yeah, it's episode 36, right?
Right.
No idea.
I think it's 36. But after last week's topic drought, where we're like, oh my god, there's like 3 topics. We're gonna need to stretch this shit out. Oh my god, it's a topic fucking flood this week. I mean, it's Evo and Rockstar actually letting loose the floodgates, and also for some reason the film. Oh my god, we'll get to it as we go. So, the first one up that I want to hit because it's the one that I know for sure Addie's going to be opinionated on it. So they revealed Tekken 7's Season 2 roster, or at least 3 of the characters off of what looks like 6 characters.
Yeah.
So in case you didn't know, like supposedly Harada just outright lied like a couple weeks or maybe a couple months before and said there is no Season 2, and boom, there's a Season 2. Because it's fucking Harada. I guess he does what he does.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the tweet that I posted on the forums? It's freaking Harada. Of course, he does what he does.
Yeah, there needs to be a contest between Harada and Hideki Kamiya of Japanese developers going on Twitter to say fuck you to American assholes, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, so the 3 characters they revealed were Anna, which I'm thankful for because Anna was one of my mains back in the day. Lei Wulong, who I'm... Lei Wulong's one of those characters that you can't play him for shit, but you're happy that he exists, right? Like adding...
I thought you made Lay.
Oh no, I've definitely not fucking main Lei Wulong. Are you kidding me?
I was going, like, I was going to say, it's your boy, he back, but I guess not.
No, Lei Wulong is one of the only characters in Tekken that I just never play ever. Because, like, I take one look at that moveset and I'm like, fuck that. I ain't having none of that.
Yeah, I played against Pink because we played some tech tournament too, while we were waiting for something to download. I don't remember what. It was Smite, I think. Yes. Anyway, I chose Lay because I knew that I can't play Lay because who the hell can play Lay? But
Coke addicts.
yeah. So yeah, and basically, both of us were so confused that I somehow still won.
That's
Because
that's a Lei Wulong match.
yeah, because I was confused about what I'm doing with what I press. Link, yes.
Link, that
Yeah.
would make for good commentary. Addy talking while the other guy's just going, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Pink was confused because what the hell am I doing?
But let's be honest here. Were either of us really all that confused as to how you won? Because you might not have completely understood the character that you were playing, but I don't understand any of the characters that I play.
Well, yeah, but you have like 5 minutes of experience.
Eh, That is true. So by all
That's
logic,
what he
I
just
should have
said.
whooped your ass. But still,
Like, the thing is, Addy wins at all these fighting games because not only he's got the most experience with them, but because even though he doesn't know the buttons for most of the characters, he's still got the best grasp of, like, spacing and shit. And reflexes.
Guess it just comes with experience, but yeah, as for the beating all of you, like Pink can beat me in dark matches. I'm not sure why he can beat me on camera.
dark matches. That is true. Because the first 2 matches we had, I beat him both times. I
Yeah,
didn't
and
get
then
another victory in, but those first 2 times when we first
no,
started, both
no.
were
After
mine.
that, you also beat me, Yoshimitsu,
Yeah,
of all
Pink,
people.
Oh
Pink,
yeah, and you were Anna Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, you were Yoshimitsu and I was Anna Yoshimitsu.
Wait, is that Yoshimitsu wearing Anna's outfit or Anna wearing Yoshimitsu's outfit?
That was Anna wearing the octopus outfit.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for Yoshimitsu wearing Anna's dress, you know? But yeah, there is a noticeable thing, yeah, the more time Pink puts in a fighting game, Pink lags behind because he doesn't have experience in these fighting games. But once he actually gets a little bit of time in with at least one character, he does like an absurd amount better. Because we've got in 2 sessions of Street Fighter 4 that did not get recorded, and now Pink is pretty consistently beating us with Cammy.
Yeah,
So that'll be interesting once we actually record it.
Which we could probably do after this. I'm not sure. We'll see.
I'd love to record some Street Fighter 4. But yeah, so back to the topic we were supposed to talk about. The third, or well, technically even though he used the third revealed character, he's going to be the sixth and final character in the season pass. So we're not getting him for like a fucking year. But it's fucking Negan from the Walking Dead TV show. Not even comic Negan, the TV show Negan, as played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Though presumably Jeffrey Dean Morgan won't be voicing him. They'll hire some imitator or something. So, a lot of people were confused. I can't imagine more confusion than from Addy. Because, like, Addy, were you even aware of the character of Negan before?
No.
Okay.
All of my exposure to The Walking Dead was through Telltale. So...
Right, so Negan has basically been the villain of the last 3 seasons. And Walking Dead, the TV show, has been known for going steadily downhill with every season. And once Negan shows up is when shit declines real bad.
I see.
It actually isn't Negan's fault. It's literally everything around Negan is falling down. Most of the big actors are leaving. Most of the characters have gotten killed. Most of the storylines have went nowheres. A lot of the storylines are repeating. But Negan himself is fairly popular because he's very Joker-esque.
I see.
He loves to crack jokes. He has a very serious potty mouth thing going on where every other word that comes out of his mouth is either fuck, shit, or ass. And he's very famous for the fact that when he was introduced by him brutally beating fan-favorite character Glenn to death with a baseball bat. And he's pretty much just stuck around since then. Every other villain Walking Dead has had lasted about 2 seasons before dying. Several of them didn't even last 1 season. Negan has made it 3 or 4 seasons, so he's already got, like, seniority, I guess.
I see, so...
Wrong. The show, The Walking Dead, it's about Negan.
Yeah. Dude, you're not wrong. Legitimately, the last 3 seasons have just been Negan. They've killed...
Negan featuring The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Negan is the only one that can pull society out of the black hole they've put themselves in. This new age of Earth is gonna be all about Negan.
You're talking about G now, you realize. The next character down the list. Because that sounded like a G speech, but whatever, we'll move on to that in a second. Negan here, Negan's whole thing is, like, he's trying to make people behave more savagely and violently and ruthlessly because he thinks that's humanity's path to survive in the zombie-infested world and all that. His motivation doesn't really matter. People like him because he's cool, he's tough, and he likes to crack jokes.
I see. So they're keeping... The Tekken team is keeping with the team of villains, where Akuma was the villain of Street Fighter. Again, Geese is the villain of Fatal Fury.
And Noctis is the villain of Final Fantasy.
I was about to say, Noctis is the villain of the Final Fantasy fandom.
Yeah. Isn't Noctis actually fairly well received because he's not a little shithead like Lightning or Titus?
No idea.
I've only heard good things about Noctis. I've heard that, like, where the demos and trailers portrayed him as being a douchebag like previous Final Fantasy protagonists, like, he's actually a fairly neat kid.
I don't know. I never heard people talk about Noctis. I only heard people talk about Final Fantasy 15 as a whole, and they said that it's not Final Fantasy, which means that I might actually enjoy it. But
it sounds like a crazy, weird sci-fi fantasy version of Stand By Me, especially considering they just used the song Stand By Me as its theme.
But yeah, so as for Negan, I mean, I honestly don't mind, because, I don't know. I mean, it's not Jason yet.
I think Negan is thematically, he doesn't work with Walking Dead. He doesn't work with the Tekken universe, because I think
does freaking Akuma.
Well, the thing is, Akuma still works with this crazy fighting game fantasy bullshit, right? Now, if we'd have thrown Akuma in, like, Tekken 1 or Tekken 2 before they'd introduced the devil stuff properly and fully, then yeah, Akuma would be really out of place, because back then there was the sci-fi fantasy stuff was only for the goofy side characters like Yoshimitsu and Jack 6, or Whichever fucking
Jack.
number.
Normal Jack.
Jack or Jack 2, whatever, you know.
Or Prototype Jack. Or Gun Jack.
But
Or Jack Sparrow. But yeah.
now Akuma and Geese's movesets don't fit because they literally just have the same movesets they do in their home games. But thematically they fit more or less fine, I think. Geese fits perfectly because he's basically just in the same department of Heihachi of being, you know, rich scumbag. So
Yeah, and then there's Noctis.
yeah, then there's Noctis. Noctis is more out of place than Negan, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Negan I could see realistically just because, you know, like, even though there are people throwing fireballs, normally in Tekken it's just weapons or fists. Negan, I think, uses weapons.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just from the thing, he would use weapons.
Negan uses a baseball bat called Lucille that he acts like he's fucking.
I mean, you don't know what he does in his free time. You don't know where that baseball bat has been.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
But yeah. Yeah. I'm more for Negan than for Noctis. But by the way, didn't they say like last year or so that the old characters returning would be free?
Yep. Because Harada lied again, because it's fucking Harada. So, yeah, that is annoying that they said that and went back on it, but I mean, at the same time, it's unrealistic to expect the developers to just release free characters, you know?
Yeah.
Negan, like, I'll say Negan's on a scale of, like, he doesn't fit as well as Akuma or Geese, but he fits better than Noctis, and he sure as hell fits better than Darth Vader, Yoda, and Starkiller. Because this is still Namco Bandai, the same guys that made Soul Calibur, so...
And then we're forgetting Eliza's existence.
Oh my god, fuck Eliza. I'd rather have Noctis than Eliza.
Yeah.
Like, just...
I mean, Eliza is basically just Noctis with boobs, so, you know.
I don't know. All I know about Eliza's character traits is that she falls asleep all the time.
Yeah, she has a thing where if you press buttons, then her boobs go bigger or something, I think.
Oh, pfft. So that's Pink's new main.
Yeah. She also plays like Akuma, apparently.
Sounds more like human Jigglypuff if she's falling asleep all the time.
Eh.
Is there a one-hit KO in her moveset?
No idea. Does Jigglypuff's boobs grow bigger?
Jigglypuff's grow bigger.
Boobs, but it can grow bigger.
That's what Jigglypuffs can grow bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
And just like Eliza's
Smash
Jigglypuffs can
Brothers
grow bigger.
Brawl, Jigglypuff's little ultimate or whatever is where she expands herself to engulf the entire screen to knock everyone off. So yeah, she absolutely could do it.
Which is
Friggin' game theory. Jigglypuff is just Eliza's boob.
Yeah.
A boob, singular.
Eliza's actually very flat-chested. She just secretly stuffs Jigglypuffs down her shirt. She's very self-conscious about it. Don't make fun of her. So
It's the only way the gothic people would accept her.
Do you like the Jigglypuffs give her extra defense in that area? If somebody punches her in the chest, it like just doesn't damage.
No, it doesn't. It does make
It
4
damages
44
the
though.
little Jigglypuff in there, but the person itself is fine.
I do.
No, freaking Eliza suffers constant damage because of back pain.
Oh man, could you imagine if that was a fighting game mechanic? Just fucking Mai Shiranui and Fatal Fury would just die immediately.
Yeah, you spawn in with a quarter health, and then it just depletes in 15% parts.
She comes into the stage and she does her usual hunched over stance, and then it just snaps her spine in two.
Yeah, she does her hunched over stance, and then she falls and can get up.
Which then means that all high and mid attacks will go over her, so she actually gets stronger.
Yeah.
She becomes KOF's Yoda. Right. So a lot of people, though, are losing their shit, partially because Negan is a Western TV show character being thrown into a Japanese video game, so naturally, weeaboos are like, ah! But a lot of people are pissed because they wanted the crossover character to be Kiryu. Which, I mean, I love Kiryu, and I wouldn't say love, but I like Kiryu a lot, and I'd rather have Kiryu over Negan. But I'd rather have Negan over Noctis or Darth Vader. So I'd consider this at least a partial victory,
I'm still waiting for the announcement of Rugal coming back from the dead. It's never gonna happen, but
So, what else was I going to say about it? I think that about surmises it. I am interested in one thing, like, how's Negan's moveset gonna work? Because we never actually... I don't think I haven't watched Walking Dead past Season 2, for the most part. I've seen highlights, but it doesn't look like Negan actually fights with Lucille much. So I don't know.
Well, they can just make him striker without pistols.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Just the grenades and a bat.
Yeah. There's also something to be said of... This is still the fucking weirdest thing, because every other crossover character we've seen for Tekken so far has been an uber-Japanese character. And Negan is not only a Western character. He's not a Western character from a video game. He's a Western character from a TV show. I mean, the Star Wars characters were fucking weird, but at least they were done to cross over with Force Awakens, not Force Awakens, Force Unleashed. God,
Yeah.
those titles are too similar.
The Force unleashes the awakening.
Yeah, but Negan here, maybe is here to cross over with Walking Dead Season 8. Maybe. But it's just really out of place.
Negan's here to freaking advertise the new Telltale Walking Dead game.
Oh man, could you imagine if it was Clementine instead?
I mean, would Lee be with her, or would it be or would it be like?
But I'm pretty sure Lee is dead.
She calls in Zombie Lee as an assist.
Yeah, she works like Jill from MVC, only she summons Lee and just Lee.
I don't know if you watch the Super Best Friends podcast, but they made a joke about it being Kenny, and Kenny comes in on a boat, and all of his moves revolve around summoning boats. Good old boat master Kenny.
Yes, and summoning boats and choosing wives who will die, definitely.
My family, Lee. Ah, God. But I've already made this joke on the forum, but I want to make it again just for the sheer absurdity of it. I want the floodgates to have now been opened for American dramatic television to cross over with wacky Japanese fighting games.
What I want is to just for Street Fighter Tekken to pick up the Street Fighter 5 thing up right now, where instead of releasing new characters and stuff like that, they're just gonna support Tekken 7 indefinitely with just stupid crossover characters. Like, who knows? Why is Banjo-Kazooie in Tekken? Why not?
You mean the costumes?
No, I mean actual characters.
There aren't any crossover characters in Street Fighter.
No, in Tekken.
Okay,
I want Tekken to pick up. Yeah, I'm saying that I want Tekken to pick up the Street Fighter thing of doing different seasons, but instead of introducing new characters and old characters, just do crossover seasons.
Every season's themed after different crossovers.
Yeah. So the last season was actual characters and Noctis. This season is Walking Dead. Next season we'll have Power Rangers.
The following season will have absurdist art. The new Tekken character, Francis Bacon's portrait of Pope Innocent X.
Yeah. The one after that, just classical artists. I really want to beat up Link Xiaoyu as Leonardo da Vinci.
I'm imagining more recent ones. I'm imagining, oh shit. Damn it, help me here. Which one cut off his ear?
Van Gogh.
Yes, I'm imagining Van Gogh, and he has an ear projectile.
Yeah. He turns his head, he puts his fingers around his ear, and then he just flies off and hits you with it.
And after it hits you, it regenerates back onto his head.
Yeah.
Ah.
Anyway.
Put Walter White in Street Fighter, you cowards. So anyway, speaking of Street Fighter, we're still coming hot off the heels of EVO, so that means every fighting game reveal in the world happened there. And they revealed G and Sagat, the last two characters of Street Fighter V Season 3, and then released them the next fucking day. And I mean, it's always nice when that Fallout 4 moment happens there, you know? But I don't know if I assume Pink's not seen G or Sagat in action yet, if at all.
I think Sagat might have been in the Street Fighter we played, but I don't know.
He was. But, like, this is, of course, mostly an Addy and me thing, but have you seen G in action yet, Addy?
Not yet.
Okay, because the whole thing we had of, like, he's probably Q. Yeah, he's Q. Not only does he have, like, several of Q's moves, but you remember Q's whole thing in Street Fighter 3 of, like, the stupid moves where he fell on his ass?
Yeah.
G has those moves, but, like, as they're supposed to be properly done. You remember the move where Q, I think it was on back hard kick, where Q would, you know, just kind of raise his leg up and then fall backwards onto his face? And that was, like, the shittiest kick you'd ever seen?
Yeah.
It's actually supposed to be like an overhead roundhouse kick. So there's this interesting effect that Q just looks like G if G had been broken.
So, when are we gonna get the backstory where he turns into Q?
Evidently not yet. Though we've got a little bit of, like, hinting at it. So, right, there's a whole thing of, Urien and Gil, of course, have their thing where they have the four elements, right? Gil's got the fire and ice, Urien's got earth and wind. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
And when they brought Colleen into Street Fighter V, and she's, you know, Gil's secretary or something, Gil was able to give her the power over ice. Well, now G has just showed up with the power of Earth in the same way Urien does, which is why he calls himself the President of Earth, why there's floating images of the continents all over him, and why he's always rambling about power of the Earth, power of Gaia. And he has this whole thing where he only, like, says 5 things, and he just says variations of them. He's either giving a speech about, oh, the people must be united, or power of Earth, and all that. If you play a G match, if you watch a G match, he says power of the Earth every 5 seconds, guaranteed. And it seems to be because not only he's got Earth powers, and the whole G thing is apparently a reference to Gaia, and also a reference to Q because it's just a single letter. And going further than that, in American, I don't know if American, but in sign language, the pointing is G, apparently. Which is why he points like Uncle Sam. Like, they went deep with this G shit. And supposedly, like, the way a lot of people are theorizing right now, it seems to be like he's steadily degrading because of what, you know, Urien did to him. So that's, like, the general theory going around now. Like, he's already started degrading because he's only capable of saying, like, 5 or 6 phrases, and he's just batshit crazy. And he's eventually going to get worse and bad enough that he's just going to turn into Q. Where Q is just, like, completely broken, can't say anything, barely has motor functions. Which I think is actually fascinating, how they're able to turn a goofy joke character like G then into Q.
Yeah.
I
mean, it is interesting how they can turn G into Nick Valentine.
Oh, the other thing I want to note about G real quick. Apparently his character story, G is like, where before it looked like G was going to be the new leader of Mad Gear, and that looked like a kind of a stupid storyline. No, the actual story of G is He is just a crazy hobo who posts videos of himself on the internet doing his crazy rant speeches about being president of the earth and power of the earth. And then Rashid hears about him and he's like, this guy's crazy. I'm going to beat him up on YouTube for views. And that's G's story. That's all. So they made the new Street Fighter character is Crazy Hobo.
I love it.
Coming to a theater near you.
But the fact that he's got that delightfully stupid character, but he's also got Q's moveset, like, you have no idea the temptation I had to just buy G on the spot. Because I need a new Street Fighter 5 main anyways. So, ooh. Oh, the other thing I want to note, though, they changed his inputs. Remember how Q was a charge character?
Yeah?
He isn't anymore. His punches are now on, they're now on Shoryuken inputs.
So they made him a Shoto.
Ah! Oh, he does get a fireball now, too, so you're partially right.
That's good, that means that I can play him as well.
Yeah, well, it's an odd fireball because he aims it more or less at the ground right in front of him, and then it has a little splash effect. So it's a fireball with very limited range.
Yeah, it's like Sub-Zero's ground freeze.
Yeah, roughly. Except it doesn't leave an effect behind. Then Sagat.
Well, yeah.
Poor Sagat, man. People were so excited for Sagat, but the fact that he came out at the same time as G, and G is so much G, like, Sagat's getting, like, overshadowed badly. Which, I mean, you know, Sagat is Sagat. Are they going to do anything really interesting with him, besides the fact that he's now got a tiger?
He loaned it off of Kazumi.
When do we get to play as a tiger?
You don't. You just summon it and do Shoryukens with it.
-5 stars.
Have you not played Kasumi yet in Tekken 7, Pink? Oh, right, you only had a limited time with Tekken 7.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a pity you didn't play Kasumi. Cause she
You need to buy Pink Tekken 7.
Don't waste your money, man.
Because Kasumi can summon a tiger and send it at the enemy. But yeah, I don't even know what Sagat's whole story is in the game because G has overridden him so much. Like, why would I bother with the guy who throws fireballs?
Sagat's story is that he turned into the devil and then his husband killed him.
Oh, okay. So let's just go ahead and no-sell what Addy just said and move forward onto a little bit of comic book story a little bit so Pink can get some talking in. So they've revealed Margot Robbie's Birds of Prey movie. The villain for it will be Black Mask. Which, for DC's been having a real problem lately of bland-ass villains. And I mean, Black Mask can be fun, but he's also one of Batman's villains who has the most potential to be bland. Wouldn't you agree, Pink?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised I didn't call this, like, last time we discussed it. Back when I said I didn't know who they would use as a villain for the Birds of Prey movie. Like, Black Mask probably should have been my first guess, because he's the guy that they use for everything. Need a fill-in villain? Use Black Mask. He can do anything.
He just kind of ambiguously looks cool, and there's not really much complicated about his character. So, you know,
No.
just throw him in.
Just a mobster with a black mask. It explains itself.
I mean, the Red Hood storyline, the original one that brought Jason Todd in as Red Hood, is the one that handled Black Mask the most entertainingly. Because it just made him an over-the-top, crazy asshole.
Yeah.
That's constantly cursing and swearing and killing his own minions for minor slights. Like a guy with serious anger issues. So, I think if they actually go to do that, then Black Mask could be a lot of fun, but we know they won't. We know he's just going to be a bland mobster.
Yep.
Yeah. It does raise the question of, like, thematically, how is Black Mask supposed to fit? if he's thematically supposed to fit at all. I mean, perhaps I'm giving them too much credit.
Yeah. With DC seeming to realize that what they've done in the past isn't going to work, and that they're evidently going in a much lighter direction with their films, hopefully they'll get somebody really charismatic to play Black Mask and be as over the top as we're wanting him to be.
It needs to be some Jack Nicholson type guy, you know?
Yeah.
Some guy who is just losing his shit constantly. Like, you remember the part of the Tim Burton Batman film, the original one, where Joker's at the parade and he asks his minion Bob to give him a gun, and Bob hands him the gun and he just shoots Bob.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing Black Mask should be doing constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It is odd though, just because Black Mask, like, historically, Black Mask has really only been established as a personal villain for Catwoman, I think. Because I think he killed Catwoman's, like, friend or roommate or something. And
I think.
In the original DC universe, Catwoman actually killed Black Mask.
Yes.
Because in revenge for what he did, she just shot him. And now, of course, that's been undone because, New 52. But
yeah. Like, for as much stuff as New 52 messed up, sometimes with the negation of some character deaths, it actually provides more room for creativity. So it's not terribly bad. I mean, it's still New 52, and it's still freaking awful, but it does get to erase some choice objects of the plot lines.
Well, New 52 got to erase the fuck-ups of the original continuity, and now Rebirth has got to erase the fuck-ups of New 52.
So it's in this weird little circle of retcons.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, I still can't handle the fact that the original Question, Vic Sage, and Ted Kord are both back from the dead. I can't handle that.
Oh, nice. I need to start reading comics again.
Yeah, Ted Kord is back from the dead, but Jaime Reyes is still running around as the Blue Beetle. I don't know if they're both the Blue Beetle at the same time. Because DC's been already running it for a while like they already have with Atom, like Ray Palmer and Ryan Choi are both the Atom at the same time. So
yeah.
And what else?
What's really cool about the two Blue Beetles is they're very drastically different. So it's not like one is just in that one set identity. It's not like having two Hawkeyes or two Captain Americas, because Jaime Reyes is a little war machine type thing.
Yeah.
And then Ted Kord is just the kind of Batman type where he doesn't have powers.
And so he makes up for it with money.
Yeah.
In terms of personality, they can be a little bit different. They're both dorks.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of versatility between the two, and I'm glad to hear that they're both still running around.
I need to look into it, but I feel like they were actually working on, like, bringing back having a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle comic.
Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, that would be amazing, honestly. Because, I mean, they're already doing pretty good with setting up friendships. Like, Damian Wayne and Clark's son, help me here. Not John. Is it John Kent? Yes, it's John Kent. I always get confused because of Superboy. Because I think Superboy's named John Kent, but he's actually named Connor Kent.
Yeah.
I always get confused because I think he's John Kent, but no, he's Connor Kent. And I read John Kent and Damian Wayne's book for a little bit, and it was actually pretty good. If only because a large part of the book revolves around, man, Damian is fucking crazy. Right. So, in other DC news, supposedly they are working on a Supergirl movie. And I feel like this raises a big problem because DC has historically had a thing of trying to make sure the movies and the TV shows don't interfere with each other. Which is why, like, on the later seasons of Justice League, Batman was the only Batman character you would see. Joker and, Robin and all them were banned because they didn't want people to get confused with the other Batman cartoon, right? that was now set in different canon. And now with the CW TV show universe, they're not allowed to have any of the Justice League characters, right? They got Superman somehow for like 5 minutes, but... So, I'm curious how that's going to work, because what if DC is like, we can't have people getting the Supergirl movie and Supergirl TV show confused, and just cancels the show?
Worst things could happen. That wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, if any of them had to go, it'd probably be... honestly, I'd rather see Arrow go, but you know...
Yeah. I think that's how most people are.
But the curious thing is, like, I've only heard through rumors that there have been rumors shooting around that DC at this point thinks that the Henry Cavill Superman has been so much of a fuck up, they're just going to try and replace him with Supergirl. Which raises several questions. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, Henry Cavill Superman is a fuck up.
Yeah.
Cause, like, I think I don't like Henry Cavill as Superman, period. Because Henry Cavill, doesn't matter what role he's in, Henry Cavill will always strike me as a douchebag.
I thought you were going to say that.
Henry Cavill will always strike me as the kind of guy who never tips the waiter, right?
What a jerk.
No. Have either of you seen Reservoir Dogs?
No.
There's a scene where Steve Buscemi like gets the other members of the heisters all get angry at Steve Buscemi because he refuses to tip waiters or waitresses. And Steve Buscemi insists that he doesn't tip because they don't do anything special for him. And, like, there's a whole thing of, like, I forget if somebody else is making fun of him or if he's trying to make a point, but there's, like, a thing about, oh, well, I'd tip her if, like, she was, you know, sucking me off or something like that. And it's, like, that kind of douchebag, you know? I don't know. I love to talk about people, how I judge them for the books of the cover of their books, you know?
Yeah. It would be interesting to see them replace Henry Cavill with Supergirl. Because, I don't know, that's kind of odd in my opinion to wreck the character so bad that they decide to scrap it entirely and go with somebody else. Like, some entirely different character. I mean, yeah, sure, Supergirl's not all that different, but you're still going from Superman who, whoops, we kind of didn't write him like Superman. Let's can that, get Supergirl in here, and see if we can rectify any of this.
Yeah, I mean, for my part, like, CW is already trying to basically create the Justice League without the Justice League, except for the Flash. Because, like, Arrow is very blatantly just Batman. It's not Green Arrow, it's Batman.
Yeah.
And Supergirl is, to some degree, just Superman. So, it's not like this is the first time they've tried like, oh, well, we can't do this, let's replace him with a character that was already fairly similar and just make them identical. So in this case, I kind of feel bad for anyone who is a actual fan of Supergirl, because if they go forward with this plan, you aren't getting Supergirl. You're getting Superman, but blonde and shorter and a chick.
Yeah. It'll be alright if they give her the headband.
Oh my god. How about the freaky-ass Supergirl from the 90s that was actually like some kind of creepy morphing gel that just was trying to imitate Supergirl?
I don't know how well that would go over.
Wasn't it supposed to be a computer, too? Like it was...
Probably?
A computer clay-faced...
I feel like there are a lot of Jell-O computers in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Actually, in comic books in general.
I feel like I specifically remember a Teen Titans villain that was like that. And it stole Cyborg's car.
Overload.
Yeah, right. And man, for some reason that show was full of lame-o villains. Overload and Cinderblock, Wildebeest, you know.
Yeah, my favorite one was the guy who changed the channel.
Control Freak.
Yeah, that guy.
Mad Mod was fine, I guess. He was funny.
Yeah.
Just because he was the ultimate culmination of obnoxious British stereotypes.
Yeah, that guy was good. They used to always air the episode where he turned America into Britain.
Right.
For whatever reason, the Titans got hypnotized or something, and then they just woke up in like clip art Britain.
And the sky got replaced with the Union Jack.
Yeah.
That was stupid in the best possible way.
And then comments Scooby Doo chase.
Yep. And he was basically Austin Powers too. So.
I haven't watched that show in so long. I need to do that real soon.
Yeah, I haven't probably watched it in 10 years. Oh my god.
I haven't watched it since they took it off the air.
Oh. Alright. So then back to gaming news, the one that's kind of like, oh, damn it. Bethesda may be trying to, Bethesda's looking a lot like EA lately. So Fallout 76 will not be on Steam. If you want to buy Fallout 76 on PC, apparently you need to buy it from Bethesda.net.
This is good for me because the worse it goes for Bethesda, the more happy I am. I dislike Bethesda, by the way.
The worst it goes. Yeah, I'd be glad to see Bethesda take some hits for a lot of the stupid shit they've been up to for the last couple of years, and for how they've ruined the fucking Fallout and Elder Scrolls franchises. But
because I think it was Todd Howard that came out recently to say that if you don't want more Fallout remasters, then you should stop buying them, Skyrim remasters, you should stop buying them, and I agree with him on that, but I still freaking dislike his company.
That's kind of a weird remark to be like, yeah, it's artistically stupid for us to just keep making the same game over and over again. And effectively, nobody that is intelligent or, has a voice here wants it. But, I mean, you're still buying it. And people are just buying it.
Yeah.
Like, how many people were hyped up for, Switch Skyrim or VR Skyrim, right?
Honestly, I'm waiting for the toaster Skyrim so I can play it while I make my toast.
The best.
I haven't even.
One of the best spots of E3 was the Keegan-Michael Key skate. Have you guys seen it yet? I don't
No.
You guys need to go back and see it because it's the best spot. The was Skyrim on your Amazon Alexa, I think, was what the skit was. That was amazing. Because it just gets steadily stupider as it goes. I mean, it's kind of funny to see Bethesda acknowledging, like, hey, we are going to keep doing this. But it's more so funny to see Keegan-Michael Key,
I'm kind of hoping that it just turns out that it's not actually Skyrim, it's just like a really old text-based adventure game that Alex is reading.
Basically. So, this Fallout 76 not going on Steam thing is scary, though, for PC gamers like me, though. Because, like, I'm for diversity of the market, and Steam has an uncomfortable, fucking clinch on the PC market right now.
Right.
But I don't want it to go to Bethesda or EA. Which, I mean, it's not worked out for EA so far. But Bethesda has more fans than EA does. You know what I mean?
Strangely enough.
Right, Bethesda, despite everything it does, there are some people who will play Fallout and Skyrim to their dying day.
Yeah.
Whereas EA, Mass Effect fans, they love Mass Effect, but they're also like, man, EA fucked us over with Mass Effect 3. Or Sims fans.
Somehow, despite Fallout 4, Bethesda still has their fans, so...
Yeah. I mean, there's been more kind of retaliation against Bethesda. Bethesda's lost a lot of good faith with like critics and journalists, sure, but they still have their fan base.
Yeah.
And then coming back to this, once we switch off of this, we should probably move to the last one because that
Relevant.
connects to this one. Yeah, that's relevant.
Yeah, we can segue in there naturally and whatnot because we're discussing segueing in it
Yeah,
before.
natural segue. So with Bethesda,
One thing I want to ask real quick though is what does Bethesda have to gain by not going through Steam?
Cutting out the middleman.
Does
Steam,
does
Steam
how much
receives
profit does Steam get from their sales? Do you think?
0.2%.
enough. Pink, the answer is enough that Valve doesn't make their own games anymore. Portal 2 was pretty
That
much
answers that question.
Portal 2 was pretty much the last Valve game. They haven't come out with anything since. There's no Half-Life 3, no Left 4 Dead 3, no Portal 3 because they are just making so much money off of being the middleman, off of being the distributor.
And next year, from all that money, they're gonna make a Team Fortress 3 that's just you jumping around in a VR headset.
You just collect hats the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not even like they're gonna say it's Team Fortress 3, but it's actually just Team Fortress 3 with a VR mod.
That already exists! There are some people that play Team Fortress 2 with VR on a treadmill. Oh my god, the fucking... Oh.
That sounds way more efficient than the Wii ever was.
A lot of things are more efficient than the Wii.
Freaking VR headsets and treadmills are the future.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a better way to lose weight through gaming. So, yeah, for my part, I'm spooked by the idea of, oh no... I'd be happy to see like a lot of game companies switch to, I don't know, what's the other ones? Good Old Games is one that tries to compete with Steam a little bit. But not Bethesda or EA shit. Seriously. The other Bethesda thing that Bethesda's been doing lately is Bethesda has been threatening to sue certain people who have been trying to resell copies of Evil Within 2 over Amazon or eBay. Now, at least based off this Polygon article, it seems to be partially a thing of, the legal representatives of Bethesda basically are saying, like, they've figured out a way through the law that makes it legal for people to resell their copies of games and electronics. Basically, supposedly they've found a loophole, or at least they claim to. I haven't looked at the legal text myself for sure, and I haven't found anyone who has looked at the legal text. But basically they are claiming that if someone tries to resell their copy of the game, and it's missing some materials in some regard, then that means that they can be sued for it by the game company and prevented. So, in this current case, what it is they're just... Not all people who are trying to resell copies of Evil Within 2, only certain people who are trying to resell copies of Evil Within 2. It seems to be picked at complete random, but they're basically saying... Unless you can produce a copy of your warranty for this game and sell it with the game, you cannot resell it.
Okay, then.
Which, I mean, don't at several retailers you have to pay extra for the warranty?
Yes.
I absolutely remember that being a thing at GameStop.
Yep.
So that raises a lot of questions. And supposedly they won't be able to hit, GameStop, or supposedly, because... I mean, they wouldn't want to hit GameStop because then that'd be, challenging GameStop to a war would be really bad for Bethesda, probably. Even though GameStop is going... I hope they do it. I want GameStop and Bethesda to kill each other, that's for sure, but...
I want Bethesda to go on an all-out war against the world and just die on a hill.
Well, when you say die on a hill, it makes it sound noble.
Okay, die on the side of a ditch.
Die on the side of a ditch or die flaming. Either one works. So, this could present a problem, though, if other video game companies get up on it, and if this becomes an accepted legal thing, because this will kill game resale through Amazon or eBay. At least in the United States, at least.
Yeah.
And it worries me a bit, because Capcom would be the people to pick up on this, and... There's like one game that I want to freaking import. That's a Capcom game.
Emil, you're in Hungary, so maybe it's a little bit awkward to say because Europe generally tends to be more pro-consumer than America does.
We banned memes.
The European Union did ban memes. You are correct, but at the same time, like, you guys also are a lot more strict with law in general. So it's a whole thing there whether you guys are going to be affected too badly by this. And for my part, like, I don't sell the games that I buy anymore. I keep them. Because I definitely remember a solid period of where I had a PS2 collection when I was a little kid. And when I wanted to upgrade to the Xbox 360, we just sold all of my PlayStation 2 games. And about, 5 or 6 years later, I was like, fuck, that was a bad idea.
Now you gotta buy them all again.
Yep, and it has ate into my budget the last couple of years trying to rebuild the PS2 collection. So for my part, this doesn't hurt me too bad, because, I mean, even nowadays, like, I generally either buy new, buy digitally, or buy from the local mom and pop shop, which probably also isn't going to be hit too badly. So, but I imagine this is probably going to hurt Pink pretty well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I muted
if
it.
I was not able to buy games that are being resold, that would suck pretty well for me.
I'm gonna make you a baked potato and a corn dog.
But
Save it for those.
Yeah.
Decide with those.
I also don't resell my games, so it wouldn't hurt me in that regard. But buying games from other people, yeah, that would kind of suck.
I mean, it will raise the question, though, of, like, if Bethesda and certain publishers are doing it, because this seems like the kind of practice that would change from publisher to publisher.
Yeah.
The ones that are more known for being strict or dirty, like Bethesda would probably do this, and I could see Nintendo doing it. I can't see Capcom doing it.
I can see Capcom doing it.
Capcom has scummy DLC policies, but Capcom has always been nice about people reselling the project or reusing the product. Like, you have to keep in mind, how much trouble could Capcom have created for Mugen back in the day?
Oh, man.
All the trouble.
Mugen could have burned if Capcom wanted it to, but they didn't. Like, Capcom does to some degree work on, like, good faith of the consumer, but they also make absurd amounts of DLC content, which pisses off lots of people. And of course,
yeah,
they put it on disc.
But yeah, it's concerning this suing thing, I'm waiting for Devolver Digital at next year's E3, where they're gonna sue everybody who has ever bought a Devolver Digital game, and also everyone that's in the building.
Oh man, Devolver is gonna have a ball with this shit. You know they will. They won't sue everybody in the audience, but they'll have a guy brought out on stage, and they'll say that he was caught reselling a copy of Hotline Miami, and they'll just shoot him.
Yeah.
Public statement.
And then a cyborg comes out and shows off their new game. Because it's Devolver. They're fucking nut jobs in the best way possible.
And then Cyborg comes out on in his car. That's a good way.
You started off with Cyber, and I'd imagine Cyber Akuma for some reason. That'd be fucking radical.
Yeah, Cyber Akuma comes out, kills everyone.
Oh,
And then Galactus shows up because why not?
I miss Marvel vs. Capcom. Alright, so, do we want to get into the long-ass inevitable Smash Ultimate talk with Pink here, or we want to hit the other topics first? Because Addy's going to have to tag out for a little bit there if he doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah, we can discuss these other topics first.
Alright, so...
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Scroll them down. I remember we had so much.
Alright, we got 4 more to go before the Smash Ultimate talk. So, the first one... Well, let's keep on the Sony trail there, let's keep on the superhero movie trail there before we move on to the... So, basically, we have been having lots of chuckles over the awful idea that his Sony making a silver and black movie, and supposedly it's been halted. Supposedly what they're thinking now is they want to split it into 2. So,
Part 1 will be silver, part 2 will be black.
yeah, we'll have Black Cat and Silver Sable separate movies. Presumably Black Cat will get the first, hopefully.
Black Kate.
Black Kate, yeah. So, I mean, this isn't big news, but what's more important is click on the fucking article.
Let me do that real quick.
1 second.
Do, do, do.
Yes.
So if you scroll down, you'll see.
I see Night Watch in the URL.
Yeah, so scroll down. It says it is also expected that Gina Prince Bythewood, the writer and director of Silver and Black, will depart, but still produce the separate films. If she leaves the studio, we'll report another female director, whatever. Sony has access to 900 Marvel characters, and its intent is to grow canons and franchises. Other Sony properties in the mix are Daniel Espinosa helming Morbius with Jared Leto starring as the lead vampire and Spider-Man villain, plus projects like Silk, Jackpot, and Night Watch.
I don't know
I
any
don't
of these
even know
people.
who Jackpot is.
That's the point. So
Jackpot, Marvel.
so-
Who the blue hell is this monkey?
right. So welcome to the we've run out of ideas but keep going.
Jackpot.
Is pretty much a nothing
Created in
character.
2007.
Yeah, it's a nothing, chick with, usual comic book chick with obnoxiously large proportions in a green, skin tight, jumpsuit, who's got the zipper down to reveal the cleavage, because of course, who is apparently part of the Brand New Day event after One More Day,
Oh,
which was
that just makes me love her right off the bat.
Yeah.
If anyone else remembers, that was Marvel's attempt at being sorry for One More Day by proceeding to also get rid of most of Spider-Man's villains and side characters and introduce new ones. Because that's what people loved about One More Day. That's what people wanted after One More Day. They were like, oh, damn it, you got rid of Mary Jane and killed Peter's unborn child by sacrificing him to the fucking devil, and it was Spider-Man did all of it. You know what we really want? You know what would heal this wound? New characters. And I mean, Mr. Negative's not bad. Mr. Negative was produced from the Brand New Day event, and he looks like he'll be a decent villain for the video game. But
Oh yeah.
looking at this Jackpot character, it's like, this character could have fit in any 90s comic.
Yeah.
She
To
looks...
be honest,
Surely.
To be honest with you, I was kind of hoping that it would be like one of those really edgy X-Men characters, like Boom Boom or someone.
Yeah, I look at this character and I'm like, this looks like a love interest for Cable. Like, what the fuck?
The only real love interest for Cable is Deadpool.
Yeah. And I mean, they're introducing these other characters. They're introducing Silk. And Silk at least has the quirky character thing of, like, for some reason she really wants to fuck Spider-Man because her pheromones tell her so. So.
Oh, wait. No, Silk. No.
So Sony will no doubt turn that into her main characterization is that she's a sex fiend. But.
As you do.
Right.
Does she have 3 dicks like John Cena?
Well, she's a woman, so I'd hope not. But.
I wasn't even aware that Cena had 3.
Yeah, he confessed in one of his rap songs, I believe.
He gets a new dick for every 5 championship wins.
Yeah.
He's up to 4 now. So, yeah, Silk is like, she's whatever. She's relevant in modern comics, so I'm fine with that. And she at least has just Spider-Man's powers, so yeah, that's whatever. Jackpot was at the time Jackpot was introduced as a character, she was not relevant.
Yeah. Of the 900 characters that they allegedly have access to, I don't see why they would pick Jackpot of all things
They could
to
have
be a star in her own movie.
They could have just kept going with villains.
Sony has over 900 Marvel characters, including the chicken cow. That's an actual character.
Oh, I know.
I don't remember his actual name, but I know it's something or other the chicken cow.
Well, why wouldn't they just give it to some of the... There's some villains that deserve movies. They could probably put together a Kraven the Hunter movie.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, let's just spitball in here. I don't know, like maybe Hobgoblin? Because now Hobgoblin's a good guy in the comics, so might as well do it.
Give Craven the movie where he kills himself. I forgot the orc's name.
Oh, Craven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, do that.
They would
That would
actually
actually be fun.
If they actually did a Craven story, yeah, they'd have to do Craven's Last Hunt, because that's considered one of the best Spider-Man stories ever, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the choice of Jackpot is baffling because she wasn't even relevant 10 years ago. But I also want to note Nightwatch, who is
Yes.
the most aged poorly character, because you look at this character, it's just Spawn.
Yes. Do you know the story behind Nightwatch and Spawn and whatnot?
I'm going to go ahead and wager it was based off the fact of, oh, help me here. What's the guy's name? The guy who made Spawn.
Todd McFarlane.
I'm going to wager that Todd McFarlane made the original Spawn design for Spider-Man. I'm just spitballing here. I've never heard this story before, so I'm just wagering. He made the Spawn design for Marvel. Somebody at Marvel wanted to take the design away from him or run it in a direction he didn't want, so he skipped town and made it under his own his own company where where the writers had control over the characters. And Marvel, though, wanted to keep the Spawn character, so they made the rip-off Nightwatch.
To my knowledge, to my recollection, that is mostly true. Spawn was created as Todd McFarlane was getting ready to leave, and once he left, he took Spawn with him, and shortly thereafter, Nightwatch appeared.
All right, so W, put up a timestamp.
Oh, wonderful. Alright, yeah. We're at an hour and 30 minutes. So
Nice.
go ahead and post the picture.
Right. So is this just a picture of Spawn or not? Because I can't tell at this point.
That is a picture of Spawn. That is not a picture of Nightwatch.
All right, good. Because I was going mad.
Yeah, if that was Nightwatch, then it'd be even worse. Man, was it just me, or is Spawn like the goofiest character in terms of he has incredible power when you think about it? He just uses it to make guns.
Yeah.
Cause
Isn't he basically more serious Deadpool?
no,
No.
his powers can roughly be surmised as he's God.
Oh,
He can do whatever he wants, but every time he uses
but
his
he dies.
Every
Right.
time he uses his powers, yeah, a timer goes down a little bit. And once the timer hits 0, he dies, and his soul goes to hell. And it was actually a fairly neat thing. If you've ever read a Spawn comic, they actually show the timer on panel. Like, if he uses his powers between the panels, you'll see the timer go down. So that was a pretty neat plot device, though I don't think they ever actually finished it. I think Spawn died before the timer went down. Because he committed suicide after he found out how awful of a person he was when he was alive. Or something like that. I definitely remember, like, them
He had plenty of cloth to hang himself, so...
Yeah. Because wasn't it supposed to be a thing that, like, Spawn beat his wife and actually accidentally caused their child to miscarry because he punched her in the gut while she was pregnant?
I wouldn't know.
I think that was actually what they revealed that caused Spawn to kill himself. So on a less depressing note, yeah,
Understandable.
Sony is still stupid. And did you hear that they finally announced the name for the Sony universe?
I did not.
They finally announced that it's going to be called the Sony Extended Universe of Marvel Characters.
That's a mouthful.
The SEUMC. And when I hear the letters UMC, I imagine, United States Marine Corps, not Universe of Marvel Characters. So that was stupid on their part, but whatever. Alright, so moving on to the next thing that has to do with movies before we move on to the last couple of video game topics. So, the Oscars, the Academy has announced that they are going to be overhauling the Oscar ceremony after the steadily declining ratings from the past couple of years. And it's very quickly turning controversial, because the changes they announced was many of the awards that are not, most people don't care about, so, the best short film or, best editing, are going to be done off screen during the commercial breaks, and we will just see the highlights. We will see the winner, and we will see the winner's speech. That's all we'll get. Which I think for the most part is a good thing, because, no disrespect to the winners of those categories, because I'm sure many of them work hard for what they do. but the vast majority of people don't care, and the Oscars is still a show, you know?
Right.
The other main thing is they're introducing a new category, Best Popular Film. So that's running into a lot of controversy because it seems
It's the Marvel category.
it's going to be the Marvel and action movie category.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is actually the kind of thing that has gotten both sides angry on either side of the debate. Like I've been pulling for they need to have more popular films at the Oscars and less art house films. I've been on that side of the argument. But both sides have a solid point here in terms of, like, if you're the kind of person who sees the Oscars as a thing to celebrate art house film and sees popular films as selling out to the, corporate overlords, this is going to be bullshit to you because now they're selling out to the corporate overlords and the art house films aren't going to get the appreciation they deserve. If you're on the opposite side of the debate, like I am, it's going to seem like a cop-out. It's going to seem like this is, baby's first movie award,
Yeah.
Oh, you like to watch the Marvel superheroes? You like to watch your Bruce Willis action movies? All right, here's a little prize for you.
But yeah, the weirdest announcement that they made is that Oscar the Grouch is going to be the one who holds it.
Addy, shut the fuck up. I was like, hey, Addy actually wants to talk about the Oscars. That's cool. Oh no, he's making a stupid joke.
How long have you been sitting on that one?
For a good 5 minutes.
God.
It's weird to me because, I obviously hate the Oscars and everything they stand for. And then they introduce this popular movie category or whatnot, what have you. And to me, it's like that's the only thing that anyone should care about. Best editor, best lighting effects, best what have you. Irrelevant. What was a popular movie this year? They chose that one? Why in God's name would they choose that one? That's a terrible decision. This show is a terrible waste of time.
I think for my part, I've been interested in the Academy Awards for a while, but I definitely think they pretty much died off in 2003. When Return of the King won Best Picture, that was pretty much the last time the Oscars actually mattered, at least to me. Because that was the last.
Next year, the best scene award will go to Fast and the Furious 50 lesbians kissing scene.
Oh man, that would be the worst. Could you imagine if it's all just stupid bullshit? Like next year's popular film category, it's Medea versus Fast and the Furious. White Chicks 3, just a culmination of all the trashiest, shittiest movies of the year. That would actually be genius on the Academy's part as a fuck you to Hollywood.
White Chicks has a second part?
No, it doesn't, but...
Okay, good.
They got 2 movies released in 1 year, and one of them got an award.
No, they made their own Infinity War. It was White Chicks, The Whitening, Part 1 and 2. Moving on?
Yeah, moving on. I mean, the main thing here is I don't think it's even so much as a response to the... I don't think this is a response to so much to the people who have been demanding more popular films. I think this is more of them trying to backpedal after 2015 not having enough black nominees. Because
I think this is just a backpedal period because, like you said earlier, everybody's tuning out. Not many more people are caring about the Oscars. With the declining ratings, they have to add something to hopefully maybe grab some attention, even if it's just from news articles and whatnot.
Yeah, and the thing is, we know Black Panther's going to win.
Yeah. Infinity War, Black Panther, or...
Deadpool 2.
Or nothing else.
Deadpool 2's in the serious running, I'd say. Has Disney or Pixar... Coco, was Coco last year?
I think Coco was a...
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Coco.
I think Coco was a flop.
No, I don't know if it was a flop sales-wise, but I know it picked up Best Animated Movie last year. I just remembered that. Which, I mean, it deserved.
It was Pixar. It gets an award just based on that.
I don't know.
Yes. Go ahead.
Pixar had some rough years. The year of Brave and Cars 2, Cars 3.
Yeah, Pixar had like a decade of bad years, but I'm pretty sure they still got awards.
Yeah, probably. I mean, when your competition is DreamWorks, like, oh, hey, we got Shrek, they got fucking Smash Mouth playing in the background, give them all the Oscars, sure.
I mean,
What year
Shrek was good.
did
Shrek was
How
good
to Train
enough
Your
to
Dragon
replace
come
Alfred
out?
Hitchcock.
God. Right, so what were you saying, Pink?
Before this, I don't even remember. I was asking which year did How to Train Your Dragon come out? Because that was a DreamWorks animated movie, and it was quite fantastic.
I want to say that was 2010. I think How to Train Your Dragon as a series is the exception that proves the rule. I've only watched the first two, and I didn't like. They were both terrifically unmemorable movies for me. But I appreciate one thing about the How to Train Your Dragon movies. It's the fact that the timeline actually moves forward in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, it's now had this weird moment where in the original movie, it's like, oh, the main character is such a lovable dork. And now this third movie's coming out, and they're showing him in badass armor with a beard. And chicks are, like, drawing porn of him on Tumblr or some shit. And it's like, whoa! Shit's changed. So, yeah, this is the inevitable thing of, like, congrats, Oscars. It looks like you've fucked yourself over both ways. Now both sides are angry.
Yep.
So that's about it for movie news. There's a little bit of video game news for us to go over before we get to the Smash Fest. Which the first one is kind of an Alex and Addy topic, because firstly it's stupid, secondly it's Fatal Fury, but... So, you remember the stupid SNK Heroines fighting game they're doing that's just going to be stupid fan service?
Yeah.
Right, so the next new fighter for that just kills all
It's
my...
Teresa Bogard, yeah.
It's not even Teresa, it's just Terry.
Terry's short for Teresa.
I don't think it is, because have you heard what the story of the game is?
No.
This is like, who was it? Was it Kukri off the KOF 14 roster? This is just his...
I wouldn't know.
This is him dream... This is basically just, literally just his wet dream.
So why the shit... Why? What?
So, he
What?
likes to imagine Terry as a scantily clad woman. Kukri's got some
So-
issues he needs to work out with regarding his views of Terry, evidently.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the stuff before, it's been like, I mean, I guess if you're a pervert, you'd probably think about Mai Shiranui or Leona that way. But then Terry?
Your next freaking... I don't even freaking remember his name. Whatever. The King of the Animals or whatever. King of Dinosaurs. Yeah.
That's even worse, because they're reptiles. Reptiles don't have boobs. It's biologically
evolutionary
unfeasible.
flaw.
Did they add Nekoru to this game yet?
She's got to be coming down the pipe, right? Oh my god, that's the
Yeah.
wrong phrase to use there.
Oh no!
Whoopsie. Did not mean to say that. Hopefully no one's coming down the pipe here. But yeah, supposedly, like, I haven't been paying attention. The only thing I've heard is they haven't even revealed King for this yet. Which raises questions that this guy supposedly then is having wet dreams about Terry, but not King.
But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that at one point they just announce the guy from freaking Dead or Alive, Zach. I think.
This is basically a Dead or Alive spinoff.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying. I'm just hoping that they release Zach, but instead of his actual Dead or Alive fighting style, it's just him throwing volleyballs. Might as well.
It's like Final Fantasy X with the character Waka. How he could kill the final boss by throwing a volleyball at him really hard. Japan is stupid. So that stupid little joke topic out of the way.
Why is Terry dressed like a Pokemon trainer?
That's just how Terry is. He's actually just red. Instead of fighting Pokemon, he trained with Charizard and now kicks ass. And also does Rising Takus.
I see.
You know what's gonna be real iffy here? If they hire a voice actress now for the female Terry, she needs to do the stupid pronunciations that Terry does.
Yeah.
Power Kaiser! Are you okay?
Shit. Which
I don't think
can't-
Terry said that.
No, that was one. I think he says it in like Maximum Impact 2.
Oh, he probably does. I never bothered to pay attention to the Maximum Impact games.
Yeah, I think in either Rock's or his ending, he says it.
Well, just out of the blue, like they're just walking down the street. Shit.
No, I think like Rock runs out of the place that's crumbling down, and that's when he says it.
Oh, okay. Right. So on to a topic of, oh my god, I can't contain the hype. Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead, excuse my temporary stroke there. So,
Redemption Redman, yes.
So Red Dead Redemption 2, holy fuck, that is a weird name, has revealed their first actual gameplay trailer. Or video. It's a full-on video. It's 6 minutes of footage where they show individual gameplay details. And I'm actually sad that you guys haven't watched it. Because, Pink, you've said you're at least interested in Red Dead Redemption 2, right?
Right.
Did you play the first Red Dead Redemption?
I did. I got maybe halfway, maybe. I didn't invest all that much time into it because by the time I actually started to play Red Dead Redemption, that was like when the PS3 was becoming irrelevant because I had my Xbox and whatnot on there. In addition to Overwatch, like having just come out that year. So,
Ooh, so you got to
that Overwatch ate up all my time, and I didn't get to play much Red Dead Redemption. From what I did play, it was very fun. It controlled very nicely, but never got around to actually finishing it.
Ooh, well, that seems like a thing of like, oh hey Pink, you should probably play through it so we can talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
I need to wait until I get my PS3 back because it's in storage right now.
ooh, alright, yeah, that'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Right, so I assume by halfway you mean you probably got to Mexico?
Yeah.
Right, had you actually got to the part in Mexico where you switched sides from the government to the rebels?
No.
Okay, then yeah, you were probably about halfway through the game. Because the game basically has 3 stretches. One in Texas, one in Mexico, and one in, like, I don't know where the fuck the last stretch is supposed to be, because it's all of a sudden it's snowy mountains and forests, but, you know.
We went all the way up through California into Oregon and maybe Washington.
Yeah. Oh, we're in Canada now. How'd that happen?
Yeah, we're in Canada. How'd that happen?
The legendary Wild West of Canada.
Yeah, the word actually just screen lapse. So if you go down one end of the world, you end up on the other.
Did you know to get to Canada, all you have to do is go south of Mexico? What?
I mean,
had no
technically,
idea.
Technically, yeah, the world does lap over. So, the first Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite fucking games of all time. Mostly because of the story. I mean, I've always been unnaturally good at Rockstar shooters, but I've never really enjoyed them. But for my part, like, the story of Red Dead Redemption sold it for me. And Red Dead Redemption 2 looks to be fixing a lot of things I felt were kind of iffy about the first Red Dead Redemption. And a lot of quality of life changes that really make it look a lot better. Now, the inevitable first question is, this is Rockstar's first game on the 8th generation? Yes, 8th generation. Right. So the inevitable question is, like, how do the graphics look? Well, the answer is the people still look like shit. The people still look like straight out of GTA 5. Everyone looks like GTA 5 NPCs, which is unfortunate. But the environment and the towns look like shit as well, because I don't know why. The towns look like they're from 7th generation as well. But nature, the swamps, the forests, the deserts, the snowy tundras, which apparently the map is going to include all of those, looks amazing.
I was actually kind of hoping that you'd go down this lane, and it just turns out that it's GTA 5 with a sepia filter on.
So, it's good to know that the graphics have upgraded. It is disappointing to know that Rockstar people still look like shit. But Rockstar people, I think, are going to look like shit for a long time. At least partially because Rockstar almost... I would not be surprised if you told me Rockstar wants people to look like shit in their games. Because that's always the kind of world that Rockstar tries to construct, you know?
Right.
The world is shit, everyone is shit, you are shit, do shitty things, you piece of shit.
Do shooty things.
Yeah,
do shooty things while you do
That
shitty
sums it up
things.
well,
Be the shooty. So, a lot of the quality of life changes, I think, are pretty notable. Like, for one, the melee system has finally been fucking overhauled. You remember how awful melee is in GTA 5?
yes.
Okay.
Melee in all GTA games have been relatively absolutely poor.
Well, there is one case, I remember, which one was it? Did San Andreas and Vice City both have where you could get a katana?
Yes.
That made melee a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Just running down the street, spamming right trigger to chop the head off everybody that you run into.
I don't remember if San Andreas had a decapitation animation or whatnot, but the memory of Vice City decapitations are thoroughly ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, because you could just turn on cheat codes, spawn the katana in, and run down the sidewalk and cut the heads off of like 20 people.
Yeah.
So, it looks like they're actually trying to renovate the melee system finally. So now it looks like there's crazy shit like, obviously brawling, but now there's like grappling in there. Where you can put people in chokeholds and then, like, you know how Metal Gear... Have either of you guys played any of Metal Gear Solid 5 or any Metal Gear
I
post
played
3?
5.
Not yet.
Okay, so you know how with Metal Gear, when you put somebody in a hold, you get choices of like choke him out, stab him, interrogate him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can do like that here. Like there's options for choke him out, punch the shit out of him, threaten him, all that. So punch
the shit out of him again.
Yeah, and the punches actually look like they've been put together better in a way where GTA 5 melee, it's just two idiots flailing at each other. Like, here it looks like it's actually, like, people are taking hits and rebounding and dodging hits. So it's like, oh my god, that... Of all the things I would think that people would go for innovations in Red Dead, or in Rockstar games altogether, that is the one I least expected, but it is the one that honestly might be one of the most necessary. Because the melee system in GTA 5 is just god-awful.
Yeah.
And... Have either of you guys played Max Payne 3?
No.
I've not.
So, Max Payne 3, there was a fairly neat system where if you had a gun that you weren't currently using, like, GTA and Red Dead have always followed this thing of you can carry every gun in the game on your person, right? It doesn't seem to be that, at least looking at what's going on now. Because we see a few clips of the guy in firefights, and he has his pistol in his right hand. He's carrying a shotgun in his left hand. He's not dual wielding. He's holding the shotgun by its barrel, and just carrying it to his side. And he has another like rifle strapped to his back, which is an innovation Max Payne 3 had, where if you tried to use a pistol while you were carrying a rifle or a shotgun, Max would carry it in his offhand. And that, like, Max Payne 3 had a lot of issues. I mean, a lot. But that was always a fucking neat effect to see. Max walking, running through the hallway, firing with one hand while carrying the shotgun in the other. It adds a lot of, I don't want to say immersion effects, but immersion effects. Seeing people do that instead of doing their usual goofy video game computer person thing of picking up the gun and the gun just disappears into your inventory infinity space, you know?
Yeah.
Or in the case of freaking Bethesda games, into your limited invisible space.
Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to dump 10 cheese wheels to carry this axe. The guy just swallows all of them immediately.
Including the axe.
Right. The other particular innovations... Well, they brought... You guys remember the San Andreas dialogue system?
Yeah?
Have either of you guys played Bully?
No.
I've not, but I've seen it.
Did you ever see footage of its dialogue system?
Yes.
Where you could
Yeah.
lock on to people and you'd have choices like, compliment them, threaten them, all that. Or if you're in conflict, you could choose to try and diffuse the conflict and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that makes its return here. You can try and diffuse conflict with someone you're fighting. You can threaten them to try and get into a fight. You can compliment them. You can compliment someone on their horse, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And of course, you can try and rob them. You can tell them to hand over the cash, which is, that had to be a necessity, right? That was one of the things that's always been missing from these Rockstar games. Actually mugging dudes, how long have we gone without that? So, for my part, it's these small quality of life changes that sell the game, at least to me. Because I think Rockstar has always suffered in terms of, it can often be the little things that make a good game, and Rockstar has never been one for the little things. Or subtlety of any kind. So it's good to see them going down that path further. It's good to be reminded that despite how much people love GTA is still not anywhere close to Rockstar's best.
Yep.
So, and in terms of story, we don't get to see a whole lot. We see that the guy we're playing as is a man named Arthur Morgan, who comes off as kind of a more brutish individual, who seems to be something of a threatener and a bully.
It's actually just what's his face from Bully grown up. He went back in time.
He went back in time.
Which is a nice contrast to John Marston from the first Red Dead, who, despite being an ex-criminal, was an extraordinarily nice and honorable guy. So I think that's going to work out pretty well. And also, Arthur is in the same gang that John Marston used to be. And what we see here in the game is that you are going to be spending most of the game working with the gang. And a lot of people are cracking jokes about Persona social links here. Because legitimately, they're saying right now already that the majority of the game's story is going to focus on building relationships with the other gangsters. So
And killing Bass.
Yeah. So John Marston is probably going to be present as a side character here. So that everything about this looks really interesting. The only disappointment for me, other than the hideous people, is I was hoping that Rockstar would keep up GTA 5's thing of the 3 protagonists.
I was really hoping they'd do that as well, because it gives you a breath of fresh air. If you start to dislike one of the characters you're playing as, you can just swap on over to somebody else and have a fresh start.
Yeah, but then imagine how weird it would have been. You'd have Arthur What's-His-Face, and then you'd have Michael Townley and Trevor.
I mean, you can never really hope to understand time travel, but you just have to roll with it,
Addy, are you what did you take this morning?
I didn't understand what you said.
It's also worth noting that for years people have been complaining about the lack of female protagonist Rockstar has had. There is a female gang member now who looks to be like one of the more violent members that is going to be working with you on several missions. And every time I see that character, I'm like, there should have been a 3 protagonist system and she should have been playable.
Why can't I play as her? She looks so much cooler.
Yeah, the thing is, what I fucking dig about the 3 protagonist system is, it gives me a way to play, whenever you play a game and the game gives you choices of what to do morally, it's one of my favorite things to have, when I play GTA 5, I play Franklin as a fairly good guy. Trevor is a fucking psychopath, and Michael is somewhere in between. And that was a big part of the fun, at least to me, where I could be good and be evil in the same playthrough.
Right.
And I'd
With
love to...
only one protagonist, you don't have that option.
Yeah. Because then it's like, oh, look, Arthur Morgan has fucking a bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
He gives to charity, then he burns the church down.
He just doesn't really know what he wants to do.
Yeah. So I think that's about all for Red Dead. Because I could talk for centuries about that game. Like, we're lucky Mike isn't here. Because that is absolutely the kind of game that Mike and I would spend 2 hours talking about, and we'd end up with a 5-hour podcast. So let's move on to fucking Smash Central here. So Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct where they basically revealed all kinds of shit about Super Smash Brothers. Pink,
They revealed that Thanos is canon and killed half of the roster.
So Pink, did you watch the Nintendo Direct?
I did.
Right, so isn't that some crazy shit? 103 fucking stages.
Yes.
Now, are they counting the final, the what was it? Event Horizon?
Final Destination?
No, I said Event Horizon, didn't I?
You did.
That'd be
did.
fucking wild. The Final Destination, does that count the Final Destination equivalents, where you can turn it into a competitive mode?
I feel like they had a statistic on this where if you add the Final Destination and Battleground modes, that it would like double whatever the number was, but I don't remember specifically what those numbers were.
Yeah, because if they didn't
Well,
already...
I think it's 100 stages as is, and if you add the other stages, then you get double.
Yeah, because it's 206 stages then, if it's the 103, and then you get the final... I've already forgotten it. Final... Help me here.
Final Destination.
If you count the Final Destination variations, then it's 206 fucking stages. Which, I mean, obviously you're not going to use 103 of those stages, because the competitive stages are for nerds, but...
But yeah, didn't they kill off like Luigi and Mario?
They killed off Luigi.
And Mario and Mega Man both got killed off in the Ridley reveal.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'd
I
forgotten.
mean, Mega Man can be killed off so he can be replaced by the Chainsmoker guy from Captain N.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's move on. So, and then they revealed the new character additions of Simon Belmont and King K. Rool, which Simon Belmont is someone has been begging for years and years and years. Like, Simon Belmont has definitely been one of the top ones. Like, Simon Belmont, there's a lot of Simon Belmont people calling for him. There's a lot of people calling for Travis Touchdown, and there's a lot of people calling for... Which one?
Son Goku.
A lot of people calling for Goku, but those people are
them.
Those people are fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the most asinine, stupid one I've ever heard, because it's like, Goku isn't even a video game character, guys.
What a bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Now,
when they
excuse
put
me.
it out,
What a bunch of fucking nerds. Now, excuse me as I play my Metal Gear Solid and talk about the intricate lore while I love...
but yeah, before Smash 4 was put out, I believe, when they put up the community thing where you could suggest people they put in the game, I freaking suggested Lance Beam.
Who?
You're a terrible person.
Right.
Lance Bean.
Lance Bean is the red guy from Contra.
Oh, no. Like, the thing is, they gotta be at least, like, moderately iconic to get in, Natty.
I mean, shit, Duck Hunt's in. They could have made a Contra team.
Right, but the Duck Hunt dog is iconic. Everybody
Yes.
knows the Duck Hunt dog laugh. So,
How many people even play Contra?
Contra
Good.
is a popular old game. It's just that the characters aren't well known. It's like, well, what if they fucking introduced the guy from, I don't know, what's that thing that SNK does that isn't King of Fighters?
Um,
The shooter.
Samurai Showdown. The shooter.
Yeah, the shoot 'em up.
SNK shooter.
Yeah, the SNK shoot 'em up. The one.
Toho.
Not Toho.
Oh, yeah, it probably isn't Toho. They have a shoot 'em up.
Yeah,
I know that there's one. I know that there's one where you play as Iori and people, but that's just called like KOF Sky Stage or something like that. But yeah,
well, there's one. They have a franchise there, and Leona and the other military guys have cameoed in it before, and I think they were even playable characters in one entry.
Ikari Warriors.
No. Oh damn it! Whatever. Let's move on.
How old? Whatever.
So like it needs to be like it not only needs to be from a famous game, it needs to be an iconic character. Either that or a Nintendo character. If it's a Nintendo character, then anyone obscure gets to come in.
Oh yeah.
So in similar news, King K. Rool is in the game, which is in the same category of Ridley in terms of for years Nintendo's been like they're too big, they can't fit. We want to keep them the same size, we want to keep them lore accurate, and they're just too big.
Yeah.
Though I feel like the inevitable thing there is, isn't fucking Olimar from Pikmin supposed to be like an inch high?
Yeah. He's the giant in Smash Brothers universe.
Yeah.
And you can see it in Subspace Emissary because they have a cutscene that starts out, and in the cutscene, you know, he's like normal height. But as the cutscene goes along, he's introduced to like other characters, and they're all normal height. But now he's also normal height. So are they all really small, or was the grass in the beginning around him just really big?
It's not actually the characters. It's just Pikmin dressed up as the characters.
The Colony Man.
Right, so King K. Rool, like, I don't think anyone here has played Donkey Kong Country, have they?
No.
I played the first level.
From what I recall, also in regards to King K. Rool, was that he was not a Nintendo character because he's technically owned by Rare.
Is he?
And that's another reason that he wasn't in Smash Brothers for so long.
Well, I know he's got the whole thing of him being a Rare character, but they've had Donkey Kong Country stages in the game for a while.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong are owned by Nintendo still, so...
Yeah, I think, like, Banjo-Kazooie is owned by Rare, so they took Banjo with them. But I think King K. Rool, because he's in a Nintendo game for a Nintendo property that is Donkey Kong, I don't think Nintendo would have allowed Rare to have him as their character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to double check now.
What I think is notable, though, about him being Rare, though, is King K. Rool is going to look horribly out of place, because you look at this character design, and it's such a, you know, golden age Rareware design.
With the N64 graphics of their time, and you're updating that to this, and then you get this monstrosity here in the thumbnail.
Yeah, he doesn't look like the typical Nintendo design, you know? He looks like a Rare design. He looks like he's from Banjo-Kazooie.
King K. Rool is the fifth Battletoad.
You're partially right, though. He looks more like a character out of Battletoads than he does a character out of Donkey Kong. So, that is definitely weird. And I've never played Donkey Kong Country. I don't know anything about the character of King K. Rool other than he was the villain of Donkey Kong Country. But I'm probably going...
I watched like an episode of the Donkey Kong Country show as well. His main role was evil dictator, more or less, from what I remember.
For my part, though, I don't know anything about this character. I don't care anything about this character. I'm still going to end up playing him, because he's probably going to be a lot like Bowser and Ganondorf and King Dedede, and those are characters I already play.
What's funny for me is I didn't know who Simon and Richard were. It's like, when Simon pops up on the screen and it tells us that Simon lashes out, I'm like, who in the blue hell is Simon?
Yeah, so back before time, Simon Belmont was a video game character that people actually gave a shit about. Now, not so much.
Yep, I've never played a Castlevania, so all his inclusions and whatnot were totally lost on me.
Well, even if you go to Castlevania, like, if you ask me who I think of as an iconic Castlevania character, Simon Belmont is not the first guy I think of.
It's Alucard.
It's Alucard, yeah. So I, for my part, would have rather had Alucard over Simon, because, I mean, Simon is basically he's just going to be Conan the Barbarian with a few extra weapons, right?
Yeah.
Like, Alucard would have had more interesting stuff, because he has, like, crazy vampire powers.
Yeah, the only reason I can think of why they chose Simon over Alucard is because, can you imagine trying to freaking make that bloody doubling thing, the freaking yin and yang's oaths from bloody Third Strike, working with Smash, because whenever Alucard moved, so did like 5 other clones.
I've never actually played Symphony of the Night. I don't know what mechanic you're talking about.
It's not a mechanic, it's just a visual thing. I just brought up yin and yang's stuff from Street Fighter because that's what it looks like. So basically, whenever you moved, I think it was supposed to be a speed, or a showing of how fast he moves, because like 5 or 6 different versions of him with lighter colors and a blue tint, I want to say, moved after him.
Okay, right. Where if what was it? Yeah, was it? Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, they had that super that gave that effect to all their moves.
Yeah, and so Alucard, whenever he moved, just normally, that's what he did. It didn't hit any more times. It was just a visual thing.
Okay, that's interesting. Symphony of the Night is one of those games that I'm always looking out for, because I don't. Castlevania is a series I've only had marginal interest in, but Symphony of the Night is one of those ones that gets so regularly listed as one of the all-time greats that it's like, yeah, I should probably play that at some point. But the thing here is, how long has the news about the Echo characters been out?
It's been out for a while.
I have just now heard of it.
Yeah, they announced it way back when Daisy was announced for the game.
I missed that announcement entirely. So yeah, these Echo characters, they're supposed to be like... I have to beg the question here, because it sounds like it's a situation of they're just introducing a ton of Dr. Marios, right?
Yes, that is basically what they're doing.
Okay, I beg the question of, how many are any characters going to retroactively be turned into Echo characters? Is Dr. Mario going to be an Echo character now? Is Dark Pit
I believe that's how it works, because the game now has a little symbol that tells you, yeah, this character is an Echo fighter, and they have an option now, or
where you can hide them on the character select screen.
What's that?
Where you can hide them on the character select screen.
Yeah, so it'd be like way back in, I believe Brawl did it, where you could select, if you like wanted to be the Ice Climbers, you could click on the Ice Climber in that little frame, and that would be the one you play as. Or like the Pokemon Trainer, you would click on which Pokemon you want to start as, and that's how it went. So I believe that's how their new little Echo Fighter thing goes.
Yeah, and
are we gonna go ahead?
Well, back then you could do that with Sheik and Zelda as well, right?
Correct.
Whereas now, post Smash 4, they're just entirely different characters.
Yes.
Which is good, because I'm one of those weirdos who actually played Zelda, and I don't want Sheik leaking off my Zelda.
I vastly prefer the separation of the two characters as well.
So I'm gonna guess you prefer Sheik over Zelda.
I actually don't, believe it or not. Even though Sheik is largely considered to be top tier to my knowledge, and Zelda is far from it, I enjoy Zelda's move set much better.
All right, there's 2 of us.
A whole 2 in the entire Smash community.
Yep.
But yeah, so with these Echo characters, are they going to introduce Echo the Dolphin?
So
No,
they've got these new Echo characters here, and they've basically, what I've heard of is, so far we've got Dark Samus for Samus, right?
Right.
And we've got Daisy for Peach, which actually, I may go ahead and play Daisy, because Peach is a character I've always been interested in, but never really able to get into.
I quite enjoy Peach, and I'll definitely be playing Daisy.
I do want to note, they've kind of ruined Peach for me now. Because someone eventually realized that the whole move of her holding out a toad to take a hit for her made Peach look like a huge asshole. So now the move has been changed so that the Toad just dives out to take the bullet instead of Peach holding out the Toad. And that actually ruins that move for me because I thought it was hilarious. Firstly, that Peach was going to force somebody else to take the hit for her. And secondly, because whenever she holds out the Toad just starts freaking out. And yelling and squirming all over the place.
Yep.
So hopefully Daisy is more of a cruel sadist tyrant than Peach is.
Instead of a Toad, Daisy will hold out Luigi. Or the dead carcass of Luigi.
Oh, I feel like it goes without saying here, but does anyone else think they're probably going to change Luigi's moveset now? Because we finally got a Luigi's Mansion bit with Simon's trailer there. Do you think they're actually going to give him a Luigi's Mansion move?
I don't. I think any Luigi's Mansion references will still be confined to his ultimate.
Oh. Which, I mean, I think they should, because that's a franchise that existed for Nintendo for a little bit. At the same time, I like Luigi's moveset as it is.
Yeah. It's in a complicated place because Luigi's Mansion was his great singles title. But at the same time, you also don't want to base the entire character around that one video game when he's basically always just been Green Mario.
Yeah. Well, he's better Mario, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Mario's weird cape parry only gets used like 1% of the time.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to figure out the use of the water gun. Hopefully the water gun is going to get replaced with a Hattie now, though, now that it's post-Odyssey.
You mean Flood?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flood is hopefully going to be replaced with the hat now. I don't know how the fuck the hat would work as a mechanic, but...
Why not both?
It's the Flood
gets possessed. Yeah, Flood gets possessed by Hattie.
Yeah. Flood becomes a playable character with Hattie on top.
Yeah.
I think the Echo Fighter thing is good, though, because it means that we're going to get an even bigger roster.
Yes, that's what makes me the most happy here. I'm all for Echo Fighters. And even if they aren't radically different from their counterparts, it still increases the roster greatly and gives us characters that we wouldn't otherwise be getting. Like Crom here.
Oh my god.
Everybody wanted Crom.
Fucking
got Crom.
Fucking Sakurai, like, alright, now I have an excuse to make even more Fire Emblem characters.
He keeps adding more Fire Emblem characters, but they're not the ones that I want. I've wanted Lyn in since like 2008 when Brawl was first announced, or whatnot.
But Pink, she sucks the chrome off the doorknob.
What?
What? She sucks off Crom? Whoa, man, Fire Emblem's different than what I was expecting.
Things have changed quite radically since the last time I played.
War has changed.
I thought war never changed. Fallout lied to me.
Speaking of war has changed, can I say my biggest hope out of the Echo Fighter thing is, like, as much as I love Metal Gear, I cannot play Snake for shit in the Metal Gear games. I want them to introduce an Echo Fighter of Snake, someone else from Metal Gear, so I can actually play a character from Metal Gear.
Raiden.
Yeah, I was about to say Raiden or Big Boss seems the natural ones.
They can't do Raiden because then Raiden would have to be able to cut people in half.
Yeah, doesn't Raiden have a sword?
He does. He does,
Yeah,
but if they go back...
might be...
If they go back to when he was human, he wouldn't have to, but, like, everyone would want Cyborg Raiden over Human Raiden. Everyone thinks Human Raiden is fucking lame.
Yeah, it might be a bit problematic to make an Echo Fighter out of him, but you never know.
Make both. Make an Echo Fighter Raiden that's a human Raiden, and then make Cyborg Raiden a different character.
Hey, you never know. They could do it.
I mean, the best one would be if they did Phantom Pain Big Boss, but he's got a little bit too much going on in terms of, holy shit, this character does not fit in Nintendo at all. Oh yeah, you remember the international super fucking terrorist anarchist? Yeah, he's coming to Smash.
The kid-friendly Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking
Bayonetta was rough enough.
Mario helps drop nukes on the USA.
Oh man, we're probably gonna see a Gene Echo Fighter for Bayonetta, aren't we? That what was that Bayonetta's sister? That's the one in red. I suppose Addy and I will find out whenever we get around to playing Bayonetta, won't we?
Yeah, whenever we start
Yeah.
freaking recording that as well.
I don't know if we'll be able to record that, considering how my computer. Like,
I
there's
have it on Xbox.
Ooh, we'll have to consider that. I also have some things I want to look into with PC handling the couchless co-ops on PC. I mentioned them to Pink yesterday during the recording, and those will be coming up in a few episodes. We'll talk about it after this recording's done. But what was I going to say? Right, so I think there are a couple like inevitable Echo Fighters here. We've seen Dark Samus here, and Dark Samus already looks a little bit different from regular Samus, particularly the fact she gets a dodge move.
Yeah.
I feel like another of the next natural ones is we got to see Dark Link, right? There's got to be Dark Link.
Right. It's like we got Dark Pit, Dark Samus, Dark Link needs to be here. Probably get Shadow Mario. Who else has a dark persona? Yeah, we'll somehow get a Dark Kirby, even though I don't think such a thing exists.
Oh, Lucas has Claude, his brother Claude.
Yes.
For next week at Sans.
What?
It's a joke that's been circling around the internet. Ness is Sans.
We're gonna ignore that.
Yeah, the less Undertale references here, the better. I would have to question, with the Star Fox characters, are Wolf and Falcon close enough that they'd be retroactively turned into Echo Fighters? Or are they not? Because they've got a lot more different from Fox than Dr. Mario is from Mario.
We're just gonna get the freaking... We're just gonna get the frog as an Echo Fighter for Fox.
Nah.
Yeah, that is an excellent question, because I don't know if they've changed Falco's moveset enough to warrant him being his own character and not labeled as an Echo Fighter.
Oh my god, is Ganondorf going to be an Echo Fighter for Captain Falcon now?
I actually think they might have changed Ganondorf's moveset this time. I don't know for certain, but I'll have to go back and check.
They probably should, all things considered.
I think I might just be remembering incorrectly, falsifying my own memories.
They
announced
that he was like old school.
Oh man, are they going back to like Ocarina Ganon? Because I mean, we've had Twilight Princess Ganon for a fucking while now. But yeah, Ganon should probably get some moveset changes, because right now, like, for him to be big magical supervillain, most of his moves are punch really hard. Yeah, I don't know. So, there's definitely
my ears.
What the fuck happened?
You got really distorted and really loud.
Oh, that's good. I'll have to make a timestamp then to check what the fuck happened, make sure it didn't come through on the recording as well.
I'm here.
Right, so
Everything
basically...
was silent, so I started talking to kind of fill the void, but then I realized that my thing muted you or something, like it always does.
Huh. Basically what I just said was, if we're going back to Ocarina Ganon, or if we're updating to Breath of the Wild Ganon, that'd make a lot of sense, because we've had Twilight Princess Ganon for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And he needs some moveset changes, because, you know, Ganon's supposed to be big, magical supervillain, and right now he just punches really hard.
Yeah. He's been long overdue for an overhaul.
Yeah. Let's see, what else was there to talk about? Oh my god, they made finally the change everyone's been calling for. The final smash has been changed to a meter instead of the stupid smash ball.
Yeah. No longer will I have to punch that thing repeatedly, only to have one of my siblings grab it instead.
Well, the thing is, I just found this out the other day, and it makes sense all of a sudden. The smash ball tries to run away from the person who's in the lead, but not for the people who's behind.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So this means that the person who is in the lead doesn't get hobbled for their final smashes anymore. So, on one hand, this means less comeback mechanic, but comeback mechanics always work awkwardly in fighting games, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's a change people have been calling for years.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see them finally implement it. And it just adds to the theory of Sakurai being like, I'm making one last Smash, don't ask me for anything ever again.
Sakurai will
I'm
join.
just retiring.
Sakurai,
Cool.
Sakurai,
Crap.
Sakurai will meet up with Harada just so Harada can give him a "Don't ask me for shit" shirt.
After the game finishes, Sakurai's just gonna burn down PAL Labs. Is it PAL Labs that makes Smash? I feel like PAL Labs is the one that makes Pokemon, and I just fucked up the name.
It was. I
Game
don't know if
Freaks.
it's them anymore.
Game Freaks is the one who makes Pokemon, I think.
Okay, well, Sakurai will burn down Game Freaks as well, too, then.
Just to make sure.
Burn it all down.
Shigeru Miyamoto is gonna look out the window and see, like, is that Sakurai with a flamethrower? Guys, what's going on? So that's about it for news topics this week. We're already at 2 hours, so oh boy. So we're just gonna go ahead and go over real quick the what's coming up on the channel this upcoming week. So we're definitely gonna see more episodes of The Forest coming in hot. So Pink and I have been making a little bit of progress in that game. We may either be closer to the game into the game than we think, or super fucking far away from it, and it's impossible for us to tell. Because that game is super ambiguous about everything, so I don't know. If we're not getting close to the end of the game, I'm going to try and work it closer to the end of the game, because, like, holy shit, that game is fucking rough for an LP. Let me tell you.
You're gonna need in the final episode. You're gonna need to eat your shared son.
You may be right. At this point, I wouldn't be shocked.
I was thinking he'd be the final boss, but that works too.
Oh my god, he probably is going to be the final boss, isn't he? He's going to turn into a monster. Oh, damn it. Damn it, you're probably right.
In the end, you will just come out of a freaking simulation, and it turns out you're actually in Fallout 4.
Damn it, Todd Howard, you did it again. Alright. Well, and Addy, what are you going to be shooting up on the channel?
Dead Space 2.
Dead Space 2. Lots of Dead Space 2. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Dead Space 2. So, yeah.
Yes. So, speaking of Dead Space 2, I think... I guess... Yeah, I was about to put it on.
Alright, so time for a timestamp on that. Yeah. So, yeah, that... Addy made that. The wonder that he is. And that will make sense when you actually watch the playthrough, if you ever decide to do that.
Yeah.
Born to Die. So, we had some fun with Dead Space, and we are definitely closing in on the end of Dead Space very soon. Addy thinks we've only got one more session to go. I'd say we've only got two. Because I'd roughly say, like, there's probably going to be a session of the Ishimura. Because the Ishimura, like, is going to be longer than you think.
It depends. How many bosses will I repair?
Again. A lot. A lot. Because those spots are just going to keep coming. But the Ishimura is basically just a long series of highlights from the first game, so that's going to take a fucking while. And then there's the final stretch, is probably going to be another session of its own. And who knows if it's going to take you several times to try and beat the final boss, or if you're going to beat it once.
Is the final boss Suicide? Not the concept, the TNA wrestler.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's the kind of boss that generally either you're going to do perfect against it and you're just going to wipe it out immediately, or it's going to get you several times. So yeah, Dead Space 2, we're probably coming up close on the end. Unlike the Forest, we don't know if the end is in sight yet, so we don't have anything planned for afterwards. We do have something solidly planned for what to do after the end of Dead Space 2.
We have multiple things planned to do after Dead Space 2.
An unreasonable amount of things planned to do after Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll probably shoot up, like, I don't know, we'll probably work on, a couple one-offs, including, as we mentioned earlier, we're probably going to work on Street Fighter.
Yeah, and those are just gonna go up whenever they go up.
Yeah.
I can't promise anything.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Dead Space, The Forest, we more or less just shoot up the raw footage. We take out any particularly bad spots, like, oh, someone else blundered into the room, or somebody outside the house is driving a fucking motorcycle. But other than that, it's
Car
mostly...
games or motorcycles. Go on.
Yeah, it's mostly raw footage. Which is, for long-term playthroughs like that is, I think, the better way to do it. So that's about what we got coming up on this next coming up week. So, Addy, what have you done in the last week?
Right, I played through Ruiner.
Ruiner, I believe I heard about that. I might be getting it confused with Absolver, though.
Let me find a picture that you don't necessarily have to put up. And I'm searching picture. Frickin'.
Give me a picture, any picture.
Right. So, any year now.
Right. I'm trying to think of what Ruiner is. I know it's definitely like a fairly big indie game in the last year.
Yeah, it's a Devolver Digital game.
Oh,
so,
well, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, right, the hacking game. Right. Is this the one they showed off where you... No, that's the game where the banana or something's trying to get you to kill people. I can't... Oh. I don't remember a whole lot about this game. Is it a shooter or is it like turn-based strategy or something?
It's a shooter. From what I could tell, I've never played Hotline Miami, but from what I could tell, it's really freaking inspired by Hotline Miami.
What's the camera view? Top down?
Freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? It's
Isometric?
yes, asymmetric.
Huh.
But
Hotline Miami is
yeah.
very much top down and aimed based off of that. Can you get shot by characters that are off screen?
no.
Okay, that's a big thing in Hotline Miami, getting shot by a dude that you couldn't even see. So
I mean, technically, you probably can get shot off screen, but the people most likely will run on screen after they shot you. So
yeah, Hotline Miami is not so gracious.
but yeah, so basically, it's supposed to be a fast-paced, asymmetric view shooter / just kill people because that's the game. With an interesting upgrade tree. And
An upgrade tree. That's super not Hotline Miami.
yeah, I meant more in the fighting department. Like, Hotline Miami seems to be a game where you shoot people, throw the weapon at people, and then pick up their weapon, from what I remember. But then I haven't watched Hotline Miami in approximately 5 years, if not more.
Yeah, Hotline Miami had a kind of, pick your mechanics thing, a more character customization type thing, but it was just when you pick the mask at the start of every round in the first Hotline Miami. And the second Hotline Miami did not have that mechanic except for a few characters, and instead focused on playing as different characters who had different abilities.
I see. So yeah, with this game, how the upgrading stuff goes is that you do have these trees that you go down, and by trees I mean lines because they don't cross over at all. But yeah, and as you upgrade them, if you regret getting something, or if you want to get something else, because there are abilities that take over each other's buttons. By the way, if you want to try something else, then you can just go and take out the points that you invested in that tree and then put it in the other.
Okay, so is this like a game that has free respecking?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Free respecking needs to be in every game. Can I just say that?
I agree.
Like when Dead Space fucking popped up and it's like, hey, you can respec now for $1,000 million. It's like, fuck that.
But yeah, as for the gameplay, it was not easy for me because I don't play asymmetric shooters.
I can play top down, but isometric would fuck with me really badly. Is there an issue with walls getting in the way of people, where you
Yes.
can't see people because they're hiding behind a wall?
No, there were problems where walls got into the way of my shots and I couldn't move past them.
Yeah, that's always a problem with isometric games. Isometric games can work for turn-based strategy, I think, but not for shooters. No, because the human mind does not work with the way it relies on there. You know.
Yeah, and I just realized that I was saying the wrong word because I said asymmetric, as in not symmetric, instead of isometric. Anyway.
It's close enough, I think, that people get understood.
But yeah, as for the story, well, the game has very limited dubbing, voice acting. Yeah, that's the word. But yeah, so it has very limited voice acting, which is basically just mostly grunts, and I think like 2 or 3 sentences from 2 characters.
Oh man, Hotline Miami had none, so that's actually an upgrade.
But yeah, so those, and you know, the game actually has some pretty good cutscenes, 3D cutscenes, and it's really hard sometimes to understand who's speaking because your character doesn't have a mouth, and then sometimes the other character doesn't either. So you know, with characters that don't have a mouth, it's hard to know who's talking. Like, do you give a shit if I spoil the game?
Oh hell no, I'm
Somewhat.
not playing this.
Okay, so at the end, you face your character's brother, I think, something like that. He has the same mask that this guy has on the front cover. This is your character, by the way.
Yeah, I figured it was.
Yeah. So he has the same mask, and there's like this whole monologue about I just used you and things like that. And I'm not sure if my character's saying that or the other guy is. It's like
if your brother's the final boss, I'd assume it's him usually.
he wasn't even the final boss.
Oh.
You find the guy, and then it goes into a survival thing with the guy, I believe, and then the guy kills your character, and that's how the game ends.
Yeah, that's Devolver Digital. When you're giving out money to every indie you can, sometimes you get some crap.
But yeah, it had a weird combo system where, well, basically the more you kill, you get combo counts for people killed, but comboing things wasn't made easy enough, in my opinion, or you know, it's just basically because of the isometric view.
Hotline Miami had a combo system. I definitely remember that, and it was what was used to score you at the end, but there was no point to the score. It's not like Devil May Cry, where if you don't get a high enough score at the end, you won't get enough money.
Yeah, it's the same here as well.
Okay, so then the combo system effectively didn't matter unless you're going for high score.
Yeah. As for a thing that I disliked, there were parts where if the game thinks that you're going too slow, then it will just put an overlay over put a flashing overlay over the screen and then tell you what to do. Which is really hard when you're trying to fight off zombies, because zombies are a thing. When you're trying to fight off zombies who outnumber you 10-1, while using a flamethrower, because that's basically the only thing that's worth using against them. And you know, you're half dead.
Okay, I can see where that'd get really annoying. Because in Hotline Miami in particular, you would not want anything to try and get you to move forward, because there are stretches of Hotline Miami where you are going to take your sweet fucking time stealthily eliminating everybody in the floor. But also, you said it tells you what to do. Like, does it just give you a rough objective, or is it one of those things where it legitimately says, kill this guy this way, and then, you know, so-and-so?
It just gives you a general idea of what you're supposed to do. Like, it says, find your brother. Like, no shit.
Oh, fuck me, that's really bad.
But like, it's not even that. It's this woman or the guy in the back, the one with the shades, the purple shades. You're gonna need to put the freaking picture up. We'll timestamp now.
Well, I don't have a timestamp, so no, that's not gonna happen. Hang
You
on.
can put a timestamp now and just make it appear now.
Yeah, I'll do that. Right, so yeah, guy in the back, whatever.
Yeah, so it's either him or the woman on the left appearing for a good, like, 2 or 3 seconds, which in a game that's supposed to be played fast, that's not really good. But yeah, they say like a sentence. For example, the woman says, "Come on, puppy," because she calls you puppy. No idea. Um,
That's kind of a generic Hispanic thing in American fiction.
so yeah, that happens, and then the usual objective marker comes up saying to save your brother or whatever it is that you're doing.
Right, that's always annoying in games when they do that stupid remind the player of the objective every 5 seconds thing.
So yeah, it's that, and yeah, I did that. I played through Rise, Son of Rome,
Right.
and Pink got muted again. Or deafened again, rather, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I played through Rise, Son of Rome on normal. I actually thought I was on Legendary, so then I went back to do Legendary, and I wouldn't have actually gotten a freaking... It wouldn't have been a problem to play through the game on Legendary if not for the bloody throwing mechanic.
Good old launch title. Hey, it's a game, but most of the mechanics are fucked.
So yeah, Rise, Son of Rome. The game still looks pretty alright, I'd say. But again, I don't really have standards, so... But yeah, I think the game still looks alright. The gameplay is not bad. It's a bit like God of War. So if you want to prolong your freaking character action game list more, then I guess Rise, Son of Rome kind of applies, maybe, not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I'll have to look at footage of it, but I'd also have to question: Isn't Rise Son of Rome trying to be realistic?
Kind of.
Well, then why would they have a combat system like God of War's?
No idea. They have the like. You don't have quick time events. I don't think. Well, now that I say this, they do. It's just not as obvious, but it's even more obvious actually.
Okay, you're contradicting yourself a lot here.
Yeah, because I'm remembering things. So, basically, whenever you beat somebody close enough to death, skull and crossbones appear. I think something like that. I don't remember.
Skull and Crossbones, yeah, that's the name. Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm not talking about the name of that. I don't remember what appears above their head, but it's something like that. Whatever. Freaking pirates appear. Whatever. Yeah. So something appears above their head to tell you that they're nearly dead. If you press the right trigger when they're nearly dead, you enter a killing animation for which you can get buffs that you choose. Because on the D-pad you can choose which buff you want to use. You can either get lifesteal, so that you can, if you kill people, you get your health back
by drinking their blood.
More. Yeah. You can get more experience. You can get more damage, and I don't remember what the last one was, so who gives a shit. Yeah, so it's more devil trigger.
Oh Jesus.
You have a thing where the guy like freaking Roman Reigns stomps the bloody ground, and then everything slows down, and then you can hit people while it counts down like really fast.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, when you start these killing animations, which you can buy, and you have to buy, by the way. No idea why. I guess if you get sick of seeing one animation, you can buy more. Whatever. Yeah. So basically, in these killing animations, the enemy will glow with a certain hue. So say, or not glow, I guess get tinted by a certain hue. Whatever. Words and explanations. Yeah. So they get tinted by, say, blue or yellow, and then if they get tinted blue, then you need to press X. If they get tinted with yellow, you need to press Y. And you actually get look, you kind of get graded on style, but not really, because what matters is not the amount of what's the word I'm looking for? A difference between the attacks that you do. It's just how close to getting attacked yourself you do them.
Oh, that I don't like that.
Yeah.
When a style system calls entirely for close calls, like, that's stupid.
So yeah, it does that. The throwing mechanic, which is the worst thing about the game, aside from the microtransactions, of course. Um,
I
the
forgot it had that. Fuck that game.
yeah, I don't disagree. So yeah, the throwing mechanic is you press the left trigger to aim, but you don't actually aim because it's freaking GTA San Andreas aiming for whatever reason, and not even the PC version aiming. It's the bloody PS2 version of just snapping to the enemy immediately. So yeah, you do that, and then you need to hold down the right trigger until your guy decides that he's confident enough in the throw to then actually throw the freaking spear.
Okay.
Yeah. And, people die to one spear in the lower difficulties from what I can tell. On Legendary, they take two. Now imagine this. This is where I actually quit the game. This is where I quit going through Legendary with the game, whatever. So, imagine this. You need to keep people alive. These people are dying constantly. There's like 10 of them, and you need to keep at least one of them alive. But there's archers on the freaking rooftops, and you need to throw them down with the spears, but then the freaking time it takes for the guy to be confident enough in the throw takes more time than usual, because, Legendary, we need to make things harder, and then these people take two spears. So you need to hit one guy twice to kill them, and then there's 10 of them and 3 waves.
Right.
Not in 3, and 3.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely like a thing of they tried to deliberately hobble the ranged combat so that you don't spam ranged to avoid melee combat, because that's a thing people do. That's a thing a lot of people do.
But then they made it if you press. But then they made it so if you press them in quick succession, then you don't get to aim, but then the guy just auto aims at the closest enemy and throws a freaking spear at them.
Right. So then they design. It becomes that thing where they hobble the ranged, but then they later on design a section where you can only fight with ranged, which gets to be a pain in the ass because the ranged is very deliberately hobbled.
So yeah, other things that I noticed is that one of your attacks is, well, instead of having a light attack and a heavy attack, you have a light attack, a heavy attack that's just holding down the light attack, and then you have a guard break and a heavy guard break. And the problem with this is that sometimes the guard breaks get counted as attacks. And so if people are resistant to attacks, but you need to attack them with guard breaks, for example, people with shields, sometimes the game just decides that instead of, you resetting the guard breaks so you can hit them more, it's just another attack and they reverse it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Good.
All right. What else did I freaking do?
You played Darksiders 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I got to the third world.
Okay.
I'm a nerd.
Okay, right. So, did you have any particular thoughts on that?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I guess it's up to me to talk about Darksiders 2. So, that's about it. That's about what you done?
Yeah, I also went through Ratchet & Clank again because I recorded all of the game for a review because I just kind of decided that I guess I'm gonna do that from now on. And yeah,
Oh, did you play on a different difficulty?
Yeah, I did.
Is that game any better on like harder difficulties? I don't know.
It was more or less the same. I got more. I did notice that I got more money, so I could buy weapons faster.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Which then winds up causing the opposite effect of you go up with the difficulty as well, because now you have stronger weapons to fight the more difficult enemies, anyways.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't buy pretty much any weapon aside from the proton drum and then Mr. Zurkov and the sniper rifle, and those were my three weapons.
Ah,
I bought more for the last boss because I knew that I would have problems with it. But aside from those and the ones that you are required to use, I just used those three because a fully upgraded proton drum and a fully upgraded sniper rifle kills freaking rooms really easily.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the proton drum was the one that uh, shot out the little explosive that it detonated after about a second or two, right?
No.
Was that the
The
shotgun?
proton
Then?
the proton drum was the one that sent out like a ball that pulsated and that hurt people around it.
Oh, okay. I don't think I put much time in with that one actually.
It's really good if you just want to hold people off from around you, or if there's easy to kill people. And then if you upgrade enough, then you can send out two, and that just eats through tanks as well.
Oh, okay. That's good to know if I ever go back to that game then. Is that about it then?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. I don't think I did much on my end. I played Darksiders 2. It's better than the first Darksiders, but honestly, like I feel like I remember it better than it actually was. I don't know. The gameplay still didn't feel great. It didn't feel smooth, and it felt like it does lag a little bit because of the RPG ness, where a lot of the damage numbers feel more, in the way of an RPG where it's less tight and less, deliberately put together. Because the developer obviously can't deliberately put everything together in such a thing as an RPG where things often boil down to random numbers. So it feels a little iffy because of that. And the dungeons sometimes just go on for too long. I don't know. I was really enthused by the game the first time through, but the second time through I just didn't particularly care for it. As a character action game, which it effectively isn't, but I'm playing through it anyways as a character action game just to buy more time, put more time on the clock. But it's still way better than the first Darksiders, because the first Darksiders has not aged well at all. And there's really something to be said about the character of Death as opposed to the character of War. Because we talked before about how War is an asshole thoroughly, but so is Death. But in Death's case, we're not expected to cheer for him being an asshole. And look,
Yeah.
like playing the game, even at the very beginning of the game, Death is not as much of an asshole as War is. Because Death threatens to kill a lot of people. Death does not threaten to kill every single person he meets. So he's better off than War in that regard. And Death can actually, God forbid, crack a joke or have a laugh at something. Which was totally not fucking something that War would do. Because War spends that entire game dead serious. And being like, typical 2008 era action hero of, they took it from me! I have to have my vengeance! I need my payback,
War is also Batman now.
Yeah. So there's a lot more fun with Death in that regard. There's also something to be said about the fact that they give you the horse right off the start of the fucking game. Because in the first game, War does not get his horse until halfway through the game. So traveling anywhere in the first Darksiders game is a pain in the ass. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to say. It is notable that the first Darksiders, they retain the God of War, typical, fatality type system. Right, where when an enemy gets weak enough, you can grapple them for a fatality.
Yeah.
In the first Darksiders, every enemy that you got to, a certain amount of health, it would happen. So you got sick of the animations real fucking quick, let me tell you. So Darksiders 2 makes the really smart choice of it seems to be a random thing. Did you ever figure out what causes it to happen, Addy?
I think I did. So basically, it's against enemies that are bigger than humans or or tougher than humans. So yeah, like the zombie people on Earth probably won't get animations, but the Kraken will. Have you reached the Kraken yet?
Uh, help me. What is it?
It's just some miscellaneous freaking sea monster. I don't remember what it's
Oh,
actually
you were
called.
saying Kraken, right? The actual Kraken. I heard Cracker. I was like, what'd you call me? But yeah, all the boss enemies, of course, get big execution animations because that's a God of War trope if there ever was one. But I mean,
Yeah,
when
but
the smaller enemies get it,
yeah,
that's what
but
I'm.
the smaller enemies get it as well because well, small like mini bosses get them and
Well,
they get turned into
I
normal.
know the bosses in.
They get turned into normal enemies after a while, and then things like wraiths and what else? Angels, I believe, also get them, and they're just normal enemies.
Right, well, every normal enemy that I can remember, like, had one, though I'm sure there are several that I was never able to get the random thing to fire off. But, like, the enemies like, even the stone sentinels at the very beginning that you fight, like, for some reason there's like a 1 in 100, every 100 enemies, there's one that you can do the little execution animation on, but I could never figure out what caused that to happen, whether it was a genuine random chance or if there was something I couldn't figure out.
Oh no, I didn't figure that out either.
Okay, well, I knew that every boss and every mini boss had an execution animation. I knew that. The first Darksiders, though, even the little zombies had execution animations, which was a pain in the ass. Because there are so fucking many of them. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where Darksiders 3 goes. But I mean, I'm considerably less interested now that I've actually gone back and played through the first two Darksiders. Because I mean, Darksiders 2 is good for what it tries to be, but I mean, I really did not feel like I was enjoying myself playing the game. So other than that, what else did I do? I feel like I did something. Oh, I've got I haven't been able to paint in a while. I like to paint the little Warhammer miniatures. I haven't been able to do that in a while since the move, but now we've actually got a little painting desk set up in here, so I've been able to get back to painting again. And I'm just reminded of, man, I have noticed playing video games for me is not actually a relaxing hobby. It's actually very stressful. I really needed to paint after playing The Forest with Pink yesterday, because my nerves were just fucking shot. So, it's really good to get back into painting. Other than that, I could have swore there was a game I started playing, but does not spring to the mind. Next week I will probably be moving on to the next character action game, which I'm not exactly sure which one. I'm thinking probably Ghost Rider for PS2. Because, I mean, Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2, we put them in there because they partially are character action game because of their influence from God of War and Devil May Cry. But they're not really because of how much of the gameplay doesn't actually focus on it. How your character doesn't really have character action mechanics in a lot of departments. You know, he's not really even a character. He's just kind of a bland action hero, man. And there's not really a style meter. There's the shitty little combo meter, but there's not actually a style meter, which I think is a very vital aspect of character action games. And Ghost Rider is just straight up like Devil May Cry. It even has the style meter with the Devil May Cry style meter thing of ranking you from D to S. And of course there's a taunt animation. So I'll be probably...
Is Ghost Riders as satanic?
I think it is, yeah. I think it actually is.
Okay, good. Because if not, that would have been a freaking missed chance. Or missed opportunity, rather.
Yeah, I'll get back to you next week on if I'm right there. But yeah, I'll be running through that next week, and I think that's about what I've done this past week. What have you done this past week, Pink? Wait. I got back into Better Call Saul. Did either of you guys watch Breaking Bad?
No.
Not yet.
Have either of you guys watched Better Call Saul?
No.
No.
Okay, so I watched the first season several years ago when it was new. I thought it was enjoyable. But I mean, Better Call Saul has a whole thing of, Like Breaking Bad focused on, Walt's becoming a drug dealer, and it gets very action-packed and very drama-packed very quickly because of that. And people will start dying immediately, because it's drug dealing. It's a very dirty business. People die. Better Call Saul is just about Saul being a lawyer. So, I mean, relatively, it's very mundane. There's not a whole lot of people dying. It's mostly a bunch of lawyers just getting really pissy and stepping on each other's toes. I mean, it's got some interesting parts, though. The entire storyline with Mike Ehrmantraut, because he's getting into the drug business, and this will inevitably lead Saul to get into the drug business, going into Breaking Bad. But, I mean, so far, I've mostly just been staying along because my family's watching it. So, I don't know. The acting is good. The framing is good. Like, the cinematography is good. It's just that the writing, and the writing is very good for a law storyline. It's just that law storylines are really boring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I've done. And what did you do this past week, Pink?
All right. First of all, I've been meaning to say this for weeks or months now. I don't know if I've already said it or not, but every time we end the podcast, I'm like, oh, wait, I did this one thing. I finished season 4 of The Flash.
Yes. I've been wondering why you haven't been bringing up Flash or League of Tomorrow, Legends of Tomorrow on the show.
League of Tomorrow, yes.
It basically is.
Yeah.
But I've been seeing your the gifs you post on the forum of the Legends of Tomorrow bits, and I am so fucking confused. I want explanations.
All right. I'll start with the Flash and move into Legends. So, let's see. Did I post anything funny about the Flash?
Iris is the Flash now, right? Isn't that a thing they did? I thought I heard that Iris was getting to be a new Flash. Because I know they've already made Wally a Flash. I know that for sure. Guys? Oh shit, is my mic exploding again?
No.
Oh, well, why the fuck aren't you talking to me? No answer, huh? You sons of bitches. Did you conspire against me before the podcast? Oh, we're gonna stop talking for a little bit, but we're gonna still be there, but we're just gonna make Alex look like a fucking fool.
I mean, I can't tell you, or think will do things unspeakable to me.
Boy, it would be nice if Discord would work with me.
Oh no.
For the past 30 minutes or so, it's just been casually dropping out. Every 5 seconds, the internet just blows up and then comes right back on. It's very annoying.
Fuck. Alright, well, go ahead and get back to talking about whatever. So, I'm gonna make a timestamp there to be like, hey, edit that shit out.
Yeah, no problem. So, Iris continues to be the bane of my existence in The Flash, and I'm sure most everyone else.
And she's the Flash now, isn't she? You weren't able to...
Yeah, we are the Flash.
Now wait, are they actually merging together like Kingdom Come Flash? Because that'd be creepy.
No. It's just a statement she makes. Whenever Barry is feeling down on himself and doesn't think he can do it, it's always Iris that's got to tell him that, hey, man, you're not doing this alone because I'm doing everything, but I'm not.
Don't worry, Barry. I'm here to drag you down.
Yeah. She's the absolute worst moral support in that show. Yet, they continue to have her in that role.
Well, I don't know what to say there.
Yeah.
So, I've been hearing a lot about how there's apparently just speedster overload in that show now. There's a million fucking other Flashes that are all faster than Barry.
Everybody's faster than Barry. And then they totally destroy that concept by introducing Flash time, which, basically we've already seen that Barry is faster than Jay, which is obvious because Jay was never all that fast. Plus, he's an old man now. He's also faster than Jesse Quick, and I think that's all the other speedsters that they had in that episode. But they've introduced Flash Time, which is basically that Barry is moving so fast that time around him is absolutely still, and he can just do whatever the heck he wants. So, in theory, he should never, ever, ever have any other problems ever again.
Until they introduce Hunter Zolomon, and Hunter Zolomon runs by going backwards through time, so he gets so he gets there before he started running.
So, yeah, they've kind of complicated such a scenario with Flash Time.
Well, the thing is, they keep the only twist they know is, oh, hey, here's a new speedster. He's faster than the Flash. So they're going to keep going. They're not going to stop doing that twist.
Yep. This season is the only season where the main antagonist has not been a speedster.
Oh, is it Damien Dark again?
No, it's DeVoe, the Thinker. I was worried for a second because I didn't hear any response, and then I looked down and thought it was muted, so I'm good. Hopefully.
Yeah, my computer over here, I'm trying to close the door, and the door is disagreeing with me. You fucking thing. Okay, I'm giving up. Right, and on the Legends of Tomorrow side, what the fuck is this? You keep posting a giant fucking Care Bear or something?
That is kind of an Elmo. What's the word I'm looking for? Stand-in, I suppose. There's a word for it that I'm not able to think of right now because the pressure's on and I'm never able to.
Pastiche? I'm thinking pastiche. That's what I always go with.
Maybe. But yeah, he's basically the DC version of Elmo, and why he's so important is
he is the new god.
Yes, basically. In the 1980s, I want to say. So, old man Firestorm, who is young now, whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, Martin Stein?
Martin Stein, yes, thank you. Martin Stein is taken back in time with that little Bebo thing into a little Viking settlement, which the Viking settlement is in America, because it was at the time when Vikings were kind of there before us and whatnot, but then they were deciding to go back to Norway and whatnot.
Newfoundland, right?
Yeah, Newfoundland. So basically, they capture Martin Stein, and once they stumble upon Bebo, who, it's like basically Elmo, and it talks to them, they think it's a god, and so that storyline just takes off in a totally crazy route. So basically, you've got this Viking lady who's convinced that Bebo is a god, and whatever Bebo says, she interprets in her own way, so she can get her way and whatnot. And that episode ends and whatnot. It all comes to a conclusion. Did I cut out again?
No.
Okay.
I'm doing some work.
I keep looking for cues to make sure I'm still here.
No. You're fine. So, I assume that's the little thing, the picture you showed of, like, the Bebo sitting on top of a shrine.
Yes. So he's all covered in, like, garland and whatnot at his little shrine.
So
in the finale, basically, throughout the season, the team has been gathering these stupid little totem things, and in the end, in order to defeat this basically time demon, they have to use the stones to create a being that can do battle with this demon. And so once they're instructed to basically think of the purest being they can think of, everybody gets in their little vision the image of Bebo. And so they conjure up a gigantic blue Bebo to do battle with this time demon. And it all ends with Bebo basically doing an elbow drop from the heavens onto the time demon and exploding in a big blue heart. And it's the greatest thing ever.
I want to watch this. The great thing is my mom is into the CW shows, but I don't think she got too into Legends of Tomorrow. I would have loved to hear her reaction. Because I would have watched her come out of the room with like the most what the fuck look on her face possible.
Yeah.
This is like the new Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, isn't it?
Yes. I knew it was special in that Viking episode. I had no idea they'd bring it back. And he actually does make a cameo in one of the Flash episodes when, like, the Trickster is hanging out in this toy factory and whatnot.
And the thing suplexes Mark Hamill?
If only. They actually didn't get Mark Hamill back for season 4.
Oh.
They were using Trickster Jr.
Ah.
Yeah. Disappointing, but oh well, what are you gonna do?
Didn't they get Mark Hamill
filming Force Awakens or whatnot?
Oh yeah, I think he was. But I mean, they did get him to do the alternate universe Trickster that was basically Joker, right?
Right.
Which that looks fucking weird seeing Mark Hamill actually as the Joker, because I mean, God bless Mark Hamill, he's kind of a bigger guy right now. Or no, even worse back then, but yeah, that sounds like the most delightful insanity I've seen in a while. Like, aren't they introducing John Constantine into the show now?
Yes.
Was John
He has a couple episodes or appearances in the episodes of this last season, and I think he's going to be a regular on the next season.
Okay, I'd love to see John's reaction to the Bebo thing, because I mean, John's seen some shit, so I mean, it's probably not the weirdest thing, but it's up there.
Yeah, definitely up there. One can only assume as such.
Speaking of stupid shit involving DC, let me just go ahead and throw this up in the chat.
Perfect.
Yep.
Hollywood actor and friend of Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
Put in.
That's great. So yeah, Legends of Tomorrow was great. Flash was disappointing. Let's see. I downloaded several games through Game Pass that I'm going to play through, but every time I go to do it, I start doodling instead because I have commitment issues. But this morning, and Addie might be able to talk about this as well, but I got around to playing Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which is basically this kind of Metroid-y thing.
Shantae is an X-Men game.
A what?
X-Man.
An X-Men game.
Our friend X-Man, not the superhero, our friend.
Oh, that's why I'm confused. It's like, what do you mean? There's no mutants in there.
The alternative title, Addie, is Waifu Game. I've only heard good things about Shantae, though, as a platformer series.
Yeah, I enjoyed my platformers in the day, and I'm enjoying this one now. I had started this because I didn't want to start any of the other things I had, because I figured, oh, this one will be quick and easy to play and put down. But it also has an old school checkpoint save game system, so it also wasn't the smartest decision because I couldn't just stop anywhere.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, well, I kind of messed up here.
Yeah.
How I thought it would. My plan backfired.
That's always the rough thing. Like, you and me are also running into a similar issue in the forest where it's like, well, fuck, I can't save. So
Yep.
if I die now, it's 30 minutes of gameplay down the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always hear good things about Shantae, so it'll be interesting to have someone on the podcast that's finally played those games. Have a little bit of gaming diversity here. You done anything other than that?
Pink.
Okay, Pink died again. I think that's a good sign that it's time to fucking wrap this shit up.
Yeah. Probably.
So, I will go. I will go ahead and leave everybody with a picture of the inevitable next character for Tekken Season 3.
Yes.
I need to
Yes.
get Tekken 7 ASAP.
Yes. Yo, yeah, spring 2018, like the freaking June release or whatever it was.
There we
Yeah,
go.
mid or freaking first half of 2017 was it?
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Alright, folks. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.